playing some D&D today, ran by Jonathan. Some episode 2 of our tragedy at Heartshome. But what else do we do? More D&D this week, every other Thursday. This week being one of the episodes. We got some Tomb of Annihilation. Then is this Tuesday? Is this Tuesday Cyberpunk, Joseph?
Yes.
Yes. I need to bring the calendar up when I do these things. We got some Cyberpunk coming back this Tuesday for a little bit. Then normally game watch every Sunday, but all the boys are busy having pie together this Sunday without me. It's really sad, but it's okay. It'll be fine.
Just pie?
And watching American Pie because 4th of July.
Oh.
Yeah. But everyone's
their
bringing
ideas.
pies. Yeah.
Hopefully to eat.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see. What else do we have?
I'll never forget seeing that when I was 8 years old.
Yeah. I feel like that's one of those movies everyone sees a little too young in our generation. That's all we really have going on right now. We got some chill time still until I eventually get my shit together and run another campaign. So just, Minecraft happens sometimes, video games happen sometimes. Sometimes we're on high shelf gaming. The gist. Hey Lewis, what else do you do?
I do things that involves talking with 2 other people. It makes an acronym. LSD podcast every Thursday.
Yeah.
We upload around noon to 1. This week, we kind of just went off the rails and went from trying to figure out if Yo-Yo Ma was a basketball player or violinist to freaking out about people in Cameo. That was all right. You should go watch
it. That's it. I have a bunch of powder in the back of my throat now. So, Jonathan, to you.
Save her, please.
Look.
All right. We're just going to dive right into it. Is everyone ready? Everyone got into character. Listen to what you need to listen to. Do what you need to do. That is up to you. And I think that we'll just hop right in.
Hell yeah.
So, a quick confirmation from last session. The cart you found in the town square, the person inside it would have been wearing a mask with 3 eyes, 2 in regular and 1 in the forehead. The other cultists that you fought at the beginning have only the 2 eyes, just where the eyes are. I might have misconstrued it, made a mistake. I don't feel like I conveyed that properly. So, there you go.
Okay.
And you all were in Brannigan's house. A large runic symbol of some sort formed under you. You felt a connection to some sort of eldritch force. Things are definitely not right. But was there anything else that you wanted to do in that house? Just after you struck the deal, or would you have all left?
Was the deal I got to steal his journal after the fact, or now that we agreed?
The deal was if you agree to go and do it, then he'll hand you the journal.
Gotcha.
So yeah. He would hand you the journal. This old crusted book. It seemingly hewn from old paper, yellowed with age, and the back and front of the book are bound in a kind of a mysterious leather you're kind of unsure of the source of. He'd hand it you. There is no writing on it on the front or the back. It's just a journal. You would hear upstairs in the sort of attic, this odd footstep. You would hear this like light breath, just you, Dara, because you have the highest passive, just through the floorboards, I guess, through the ceiling from where you are. You think whatever is up there has placed its head on the wood, and you can only think that they're listening. He passes the journal over to you. Feel free to take anything else you need from my home. If it means that those bastards' heads end up on spikes, I don't mind.
Do you have any information on where they might be, or any information on whatever this god is they follow that could help us?
Well, if they're planning on conducting magic or corrupting the places we live in, they'd be in the church, definitely. They're not built there by accident. People build churches on sites of magic. It can't be a coincidence.
I have a question
Mhm.
for the DM. So Wyndon, this most of this time was over at his alchemist station, trying to like kind of look at those two samples and use some of the instruments there to see if there's any. I know you said that it's like the troll's blood was a very concentrated version of what's in the lake or anything, but he also wanted to try and dilute it a little bit while he had all of this equipment to see if he could dilute it and make some more little potions of acid out of that original vial.
Sure, I would say you could split it in half. So what would originally be like a 4d6 vial would turn into two 2d6 vials, like a regular vial of acid would be. But diluting it any further, I mean, you could dilute it a lot to use it as a poison, kind of like you ingest it and it burns them from the inside out. But I mean, it's really up to you.
Okay, cool. I'll think about it.
Okay.
Brannigan, you said I could have this book. We can use anything.
You can take whatever you need.
Just kind of looks around the room and is like, I don't really know what I need. I'll just take this book for now. Thank you.
He sits down in his chair and sort of covers his wounded arm and wrist with his hand. And just kind of sits there quietly. By now, the glowing of the rune underneath the rug would have dimmed.
John. So the book I got on different, like, religions and deities. Can I just look through it and see if there's anything interesting besides, obviously, if I find my stuff. Specifically, if there's anything about the snake stuff.
Okay. You would leaf through it over the course of, like, let's say 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Trying to scan it for all usable information. You would find small amounts for your god. The creature itself being, obviously you know enough about your deity, but for everyone else, a god of entropy. A god of destruction. A god that will end the world one day. The world will one day be consumed by the white sun, the pale sun. And sort of the clerics, paladins, and people aligned go out and try to stomp out entropy, undeath, and decay wherever they can. For you, it's really not anything new. You would notice, though, in this book, it is written more negatively. As in, people like you are doomsday preppers and cultists in and of themselves. That sort of thing.
Odd. I don't see it that way.
That's what someone in a cult would say.
When I skim this Contacting the Elder World book, I just want to look at it for anything pertinent to our current situation. Any mention of Abraxas?
You would read through it. Basically, you would just take a seat, look around and start reading, leafing through things, and making alchemy and stuff like that. You would find that there are multiple deities attributed to snakes and serpents, a kind of a commonality, but they're all derived from the same mother, in a sense. A deity called Graza. They're all sort of... You see multiple snake deities here. You would see that Abraxas itself is the son of Graza, a creature of magic and of knowledge. And it's said that it can use its 3 eyes to perceive the past, present, and future all at the same time.
I don't know.
But that's really it.
Fantastic.
Brannigan.
Closes that very quickly.
Okay. He nods, his beard shaking and his head kind of dangling loose.
You said what's upstairs will be gone tomorrow.
Aye.
Is it because it was a mistake, or was it only meant to be around that long?
I don't make mistakes. It'll be gone on the morrow.
Oh, what's upstairs? What are you talking about?
Is it, I'm assuming, one of your daughters?
He clicks his tongue and settles back into his seat. There's a lot of ways to speak to other places. I've never been magically inclined. I'm not a wizard, I'm a scholar. There are certain processes you have to take to contact creatures from another world. They're not pretty, but they're necessary for revenge.
So, this thing upstairs is helping with your revenge?
Well, it is going to make sure that all of you carry out your part of the deal.
This doesn't seem like it's a very good thing.
I don't think revenge is a very good thing, but it soothes the soul.
I think you'll find it doesn't.
I'll be dead before it happens, so
So
least
you're
my
gonna let it weigh
girls-
on our conscience. I can't say that word. You know that. Instead of your own.
you're the ones who brokered the deal. We
Just kind of
agreed.
look over at Kane.
Speaking of morality, it's a bit late now. The deal has already been struck. You have no choice but to carry it out to its end, willing or not.
I want to meet it.
He sinks even lower into his armchair. I'll need to check if it wants to meet you.
Understandable. Seems like we have a partnership. I like to put faces to bright lights on the floor.
He looks up, sighs, and stands up. Heads over to the ladder to his roof and kind of awkwardly climbs up with one hand. He closes the door behind him, or the hatch behind him, and you would hear speech in a language that I don't think many of you understand. It's Infernal.
I understand Infernal.
This man speaks Infernal. You would hear very quiet whispers. They're trying their absolute hardest to stay concealed, but it's basically impossible in such a small abode. You kind of get up against the ceiling and listen. You would hear Brannigan talking about how there are people downstairs willing to carry out his will, and they've brokered the deal. And then you would hear a kind of obscurely gendered voice. It sounds both male and female. Basically telling him that things are done. And then he mentions that, well, Dara wants to speak with it. And then you would hear a long silence. And footsteps heading back towards the hatch. The hatch swings open. And a shoeless, pantless foot steps down onto the first rung. The leg and foot itself is clawed like a dog's foot, padded and long and wide, with a large bone jutting back up and then out again at a diagonal. Digigrade, I think it's called. Another foot, identical to the first. They have, instead of toes, the tips of dog's feet and claws. More steps down, revealing a naked form. Very slim, shallow shoulders, yet broad in width at the same time. The figure turns around to all of you. Its sort of deep red ginger hair flicks back and strikes against the wall behind it. It's a figure that has no gender. It's completely nude, but it's devoid of sexuality or any other noticing feature. What you notice is its face is that of a dog. A face of a dog sewn onto a face of a person. Its piercing blue eyes shine even in the dimly lit room. It just raises an eyebrow, sort of revealing itself to you. Quite a humble space to be meeting.
That indeed.
Wyndon does not fucking look.
Just kind of like inching like closer and kind of like looking around and like looking at my hands, looking at their feet.
I just kind of no, I was just gonna say I kind of like walk up after like taking it in, like, what the fuck is that? And I just say, well, I think if we're the ones who brokered the deal with you, and I bow my head a little, and in Infernal I just say, Pello Fiora at your service.
The figure bows, placing a hand on its chest and then raising it up like that. Well, child of Fiero, it's good to meet you. And she says this in common for everyone to understand.
Yeah.
But you would definitely have heard, all of you heard Palo speak in this strange tongue that you heard the devil talking to with Brannigan. So you would be able to compare the two. Well, It's nice to see that people on the mortal plane still wish to carry out our deals and ideals.
And
Is
you
there... I have not a name. People in their books call me the Hound. We don't have names where I'm from. We don't really need them.
Well, why do you hide your face?
This is my face, darling.
Kane's incredibly still, just like holding his hands together. Just like going.
I would take
My
it you weren't
apologies.
infected by a wolf. This is a natural state for where you're from.
Well, yes. Such things are normal. The figure looks at its hands. It has very humanoid hands, but with very long black nails. Such places are devoid of creatures like you. It looks over you all. We do enjoy speaking to those who are above us, in a sense. Is there anything you desire?
Theologically?
More like physically. And she points down. Is there anything you wish? I do have to square away the deal here with the old scholar.
That's why he says he may not be here tomorrow either, I assume.
Well, we have a very specific deal. Your friend Brannigan, oh, no, I'd hesitate to say friend, more like accomplice now. Well, he's terribly sick. He might die in a few days. Of course, he doesn't want to go to any doctors. Such is the pittance of people. Emotions and the like. It always gets in the way.
I can understand that.
So, I am not going to be the one who kills him, that's for sure. Now, is there anything any of you want? Any desires left unchecked? Any
No.
curses you wish to be lifted?
I just look at everyone. I'm like, no.
I
don't
think we'll
always-
stick to one deal. The
Very
one
well.
we're currently on.
We don't always deal in souls or life force or emotions to sort of your body, Dara, physical form. If you have any potent items of magic you wish to donate to my cause, be more than willing to bridge the gap and gift you something as well.
What exactly this deal that we've seen to hastily have struck already? I understand our side of it. I guess what if we're unable to complete it? What do we have to worry about?
They motion a hand for you all to step back away from the central rug, and they put a foot underneath the carpet and rug and flick it up. It flies up into the air with kind of as if someone grabbed it with full force and yanked it. A pretty impressive strength. You would see hewn in what you can only assume is Brannigan's blood. A magic circle, a pentagram of sorts. Well, to strike such a deal with a man like him and a person like me, it starts to pace around and walks around all of you in the center of the room, looking you all up and down. The deal you struck was quite intense. It seems like you're all more ready and willing to do things that other people would have nightmares about. I can't tell you for certain, that would ruin the fun. But I can promise you it won't be painful. It'll be painless, actually, if you fail. Or maybe painful for other people.
That's fair, I guess.
Guess that's a positive, huh?
Well, silver linings and all of that. That's what all of you say.
I mean, that's what I always look for, I guess.
Wyndon
Trying
is
to
just
avoid silver.
Wyndon's listening, but still not looking over. Just looking at the alchemist bench. And just kind of like talks backwards a little bit towards the hound, and just says, "Okay, so just in case, what exactly do we need to do? Make them suffer, but how exactly? So we don't
Well,
mess it up."
You listen to Brannigan's pleas. Get creative. She flicks, or they flick a wrist and summon a small vial of brackish liquid, like a mercury. Places it on your table that you're doing alchemy at, and saddles up next to you.
Oh, God.
Well, he wished for you to destroy its physicality, mind, body, and soul, to whip the pain that he feels into it, whatever it is. He said the cult. Now, I'm not that crude or mean. That would be quite a demonstrably hard feat, wouldn't it? So, once you find the leader, their head, the religious zealot who runs them, harm them physically. She slide the mercury over to your side of the table, Wyndon. Harm them mentally. And destroy their ego. Just taps the vial.
Okay. Takes the vial and wraps it in some leather cloth.
Now, it won't work if you haven't applied them properly. So I expect some good old-fashioned elbow grease. I'll be watching.
Okay.
I guess is Brannigan in the room?
Brannigan
come
would have been
down?
upstairs.
All right.
He wants to come down.
All right. I won't interrupt him then.
Okay.
If it's just relaxing, I don't know. Having a tea up there. I don't All right.
Well,
Yeah,
what do you say we get some rest?
Yeah, it's quite late.
They bow once again very graciously. And yeah, they return upstairs, where you hear they would continue their conversation with Brannigan.
All right. I guess back to the inn, everyone. Wyndon, are you finished with that, or is it still an in progress?
I'm pretty much done. There's not much I can do with it.
All right. Well, I just like turn around, kind of shuffle over, slide open the door, and I'm like, "Shall we?" As I hold it out for everyone.
I did want to look at something real quick, John.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to see if there was any completed potions or ingredients on his bench or in little cubbies around there.
You wouldn't find much. You would find what would be a half-completed potion of healing.
Okay.
Although it's been untouched for a few days. Maybe even a week. Do you think you'd be able to maybe spend the evening and whip it up a real good... You think you'll be able to make it over the next day?
Okay, cool. I take that.
Okay. Yeah.
I walk through the door that he holds open.
Same. Stepping around the runic circle.
Mm-hmm.
To eventually follow. I kind of stay for a second, then I'll walk out the door.
All right. So, you'd all stand out in the evening air. You would notice the moon's come out, hovering high above the clouds. Things have sort of cleared up for now. What do you all want to do?
I guess we should find somewhere to rest and game plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to the swallowtail.
Agreed.
On our way back, I want to keep a lookout, specifically for that cart again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would see the cart still there. You would find, as you're walking past, you would see this big fountain that depicts a old hero from the past. You would find the young woman who was talking to the person running the cart is now in tears, just crying, sad on the fountain itself. No one's come out to talk to her or help her or anything like that. She's just there. And the cart's still there as well, watching.
I walk by unfazed and go to the swallowtail.
Mm-hmm.
I stop for a moment and I'm just like, do you need help?
She looks up at you past her hands and a sort of red bloodshot eyes, and she just kind of shakes her head a little bit, and she stopped crying but puts her arms on her lap and holds her head. No, thank you.
Can you answer a question?
She breathes out and prepares herself. Go ahead.
We walked through here, through here earlier, and you were sitting, I believe, with another person. Who was that?
She's the Oracle. She points over to the cart, where you would see the figure set, dressed up with long flowing silk fabrics. The card itself is dotted with wind chimes and dream catchers, and a figure inside set. A humanoid with purple skin like a drow, and a mask with 3 eyes. 2 for the eyes, 1 for the mind's eye, you could call it.
does this oracle talk to anyone? Do I have to make a deal?
It's a coin. A coin for a reading.
Okay. Thank you. I guess your reading wasn't to your liking.
Well, she did warn me that they never usually are.
I'm in an interesting situation. Guess I'll try my luck. And just kind of wanders off. Doesn't say bye or anything. Wanders over to the oracle.
Yeah, you all would notice Kane split off from the group and head over to the cart. Who else is joining him?
I'm gonna go with him just in case, but just be more passive.
Yeah, I'm gonna just post up like against the inn or wherever the next building is and just kind of like watch and make sure shit doesn't go bad.
Okay.
Like lean up against the wall.
Yeah, I guess I'll do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Pull out one of those coins that seem to be from far away, from a faraway land. I take out one of those from that bag that we got off that other guy. And I walk up.
A coin for a reading there. Coin for a question. Coin for an answer.
Sure. He hands it over.
She holds out this grasp of old, wrinkled skin and takes the coin and grabs your hand and sort of draws it back, kind of like feeding a horse. A lady just envelops you and drags the coin out. She'd place it underneath this sort of wooden counter she has in front of her. Ask me a question and a truthful answer you will get.
Across the river in the church, what will I find if I enter?
She closes her eyes. She starts drumming rhythmically on the table. She raises her head open, looks towards the ceiling of the cart through her eyelids, and seems to be having some sort of seizure or vision. Her head returns and eyes look against yours. Well, death. A lot of it, my sweet. I cannot say if it shall be yours, or those who dwell within its walls. But death there shall be. I think that your soul will be tested within the church. If such a thing exists, that is.
Give her another one.
She looks down at it. Interesting coins you have. She raises up her mask and bites it. She pulls it out, and you would notice it has teeth marks in it. You think these coins are fake. Trying to screw me, Sonny? I hope you're not.
I acquired this coin from a cultist. Apologize. I take my question back.
You could at least give me a coin in payment. Ah, well.
I turn around, look at Wyndon. Do you have 2 gold?
Pulls out his pockets and they're empty.
I guess I go through like my bag and I pull out 2 gold, and I just hold it up.
Sorry, everyone. It seems like the only money I have is not real.
I just I guess walk over, hand it to Kane, and I kind of like use that time, like I get a look at like the person reading.
Mhm.
Just like I look him up and down, give him a smile, give him a wave, and then just walk away.
You would just hear, "Coin for a reading, sir."
No, I don't need one. It's fine.
Very well.
He wants to get it, that's all him.
Many people don't think they need answers.
Well, here's the thing. I don't need an answer as long as I know the end is going to be I'm dead, right?
Well, if the questions you ask are how long am I going to live for, or will I die, then the answer would be yes.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of spoils the fun.
It's an interesting worldview you have. Definitely not shared amongst these folk. She looks over to the young woman sat on the fountain. Very well. Thank you for the coin. She bites it and sort of makes a noise of disgust. Very well. 2 coins have been taken. Are you sure you do not wish for one more answer, boy?
I do. I grab her hand and I'm like, those in the church, would they recognize me? And I kind of fold my mask off to the side and look at her in the face.
She squints. The tadpole wriggles and looks her in her eyes. Well, they won't recognize you, but they'd recognize him.
Thank you. And he shuffles away. Puts his mask
No
back on.
problem, dear. And she goes and settles back into the cart. Tell your friends, if they're still alive. Yeah, and you'd all head inside the tavern.
I go in, look for water, forget that there's not water.
I just scooch you my water skin with like whatever's left in it from our travel.
Take the smallest sip. Did we get rooms?
I don't think we ever did.
I'm
Did we?
afraid I can't pay for the rooms either. I'm sorry.
I am in the same boat, actually.
You notice Bobby shout from a table as he's sitting down with a drink in front of him. Don't worry about it. Rooms are free. My brother got something sorted out.
Oh, your brother?
Yeah, Gerard.
Oh,
Big guy in armor.
Yeah.
Southguard.
Well, I guess that's settled.
no, because I thought he
Excellent.
went to. I didn't think he had time.
Mhm.
We've been making deals with Crossroad Demons,
He's
That's
been out
true.
for a little bit.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's been a while.
So Wyndham walks upstairs to, I guess the room.
Oh, I guess we're not planning tonight then. I say as he's just walking away.
He has a thing he has to do.
We can plan. Sure.
I
Should
just
we?
assumed it was a one big bed situation.
He's gonna go claim a bed early. Bastard. I guess. Where's Bobby sitting? Exactly.
He'd just be sort of on the table closest to the door. He'd just be chilling out, having a drink. You would notice Smuggler would have saddled up next to him, and they would have been chatting before you entered.
forgot him.
Smuggler tip his hat as well.
Oh,
but there's everyone.
Glare at him.
I kind of like hush down a bit, and I look over to Dara, and I'm like, should we tell them about the deal with Brannigan?
I don't think so.
Not. Should we at least tell them that he's chosen to, you know?
They tell him he's dying. He's sick. Apparently, that's what's happening. I feel like with as much death and destruction and monstrosities this town is dealing with, maybe save them from seeing one of their own as the same.
You would hear Smuggler say, "Ooh, they're murmuring over there," as he nudges Bobby, and
Do
both
you
of them
want
try
us
and
to get
listen.
your
Yeah.
shit from the lake?
What? Oh yeah, sorry,
Okay.
all right,
You can turn around
all
then.
right.
In his brain, he hears, "There's a reason we're murmuring."
He stands up and he goes to a different table. Defeated. He takes his
Alright.
drink as well. He forgets it and then comes back.
So bad.
Might
But also-
might we
Yeah,
not
we just bully him.
might we not tell them about Brannigan? That they may send someone to check on him.
I'll just tell him. You know, he's very ill. His daughter's, I'm assuming, we didn't ask, I'm assuming, maybe passed of the same thing he's suffering from.
Yeah. I guess we all just like.
Quarantine.
Do we all just slowly sit down next to Bobby?
I mean, I guess Bobby would probably be the first one to spread the news. He seems to like to chat.
No, the Bobby?
Because Bobby was the one that we brought up here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was the merchant guy,
Yeah.
brother to Gerard the knight.
Gerard is the one that Brannigan. There's some kind of disconnect between them that they are.
There's like some
not-
bad blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I can go find Gerard. I'm sure he's out there by his post.
I'm all for not divulging information unless asked.
Yeah, I guess we just sit down then, or at least I do. And I look over to Bobby. I'm like, so. I guess how's your first night back home? I guess.
Oh well, it's home, that's for sure. It looks different, but the people are the same. It's hard to see it in such disarray, though. It's a bit of a mess.
Yeah, we all have some plans for that, and I pull out like my shittily drawn map and point to like the main points, and I'm like, we're slowly coming with an idea for the acid, but I turned back to Kane and Dar, and I'm like, I think the first thing we should just handle, because it's the easiest, is the forest, right?
It seems our safest option is to leave town the way we came and work our way up from the south to the north. It doesn't seem like we're getting over the bridge alive or through the water.
Yeah.
So
What was the bridge like? What's the matter with the bridge?
It had those two giant ogres with crossbows waiting for us.
Yep.
I see.
One of those crossbows will go right through your chest. So.
Plus, that's right in the open. I'd rather not have them see us for that long.
Mm-hmm.
That road, the crossroads that we were attacked at, there was one leading north that it seemed their troops came from.
Yeah, so
True.
We can investigate that and just the general area and see if there are any camps left of the like road. See if there's anything to find, and then maybe deal with the whole trebuchet siege weapon thing that's going on the east.
My robes don't deflect crossbow bolts.
Yeah.
Do we think this is something the four of us can handle in a more stealthy fashion, or are we looking to see if either Dimitri or Gerard can spare some extra hands to follow behind us?
I think if we're gonna investigate the camp we had seen, maybe, or not seen, had an idea of, we might want to take it at least one or two people with some crossbows or hunting knowledge, maybe. I don't know.
We also have to
That's a
think
lot.
we probably just look at Bobby. I'm like, plug your ears.
All right, I guess.
It's just that.
Shifts over a little bit.
We probably don't want anyone with us when we hit the church. I just look at Bobby and thumbs up.
They
So
will surely
secretive.
die.
Yeah.
I'm all for being sneaky.
Maybe a couple more sneaky hands, if possible, to spare. Like I said, to just kind of follow behind and maybe flank out, give us a little more space and a little heads up before something happens.
My eyes just look towards Smuggler.
No.
I don't know if I can trust him, but he did say he's good with the weapon.
I know. We
How
can't.
truthful that is.
I don't even think we need him to fight. Just keep an eye out. If we need someone who's stealthy, at least, he seems like he could be the one.
He got his... Well, I don't know. I guess technically he got his name because he was bad at smuggling, because he got caught, therefore he got arrested. So now he's called Smuggler.
He did mention he was doing it for a while, though.
That's true. Everyone's got a bad day,
Yeah. So, I think if we at least need someone to help get information, and also I kind of just want him to do anything, just something, a little bit of work. It's kind of me kind of spiting him mostly, being lazy.
If you think about it too, he can follow well behind if we need him to. There's probably supplies in those camps, maybe survivors that are going to need smuggled back to town.
That's true. Hold up. Kane, can you do that thing you do with your brain? With him?
You want him?
Yeah,
Not the thing that made someone explode.
yeah, not that one.
I just talked to him again. I'm like, all right, you can come over.
All
If you
right.
wish.
He stands up and you think he was ready to come back over. He has a chair waiting. He drags it over, a loud screech across the silent floor once again.
time.
Sits down.
It's like,
You right? He
just
takes his hat off,
hurts my,
puts it on
like,
the table.
really keen elf and also wolf ears.
All right. Smuggler.
Yeah.
We're good friends, right? We've known each other for 16 hours.
Oh yeah, the best of mates, me and you. He puts an arm around your shoulder.
How good at you? How good are you at sneaking around and just watching, maybe shooting?
As good as you need me to be.
All right. What if? Is there anything you need besides the box until we can get to that? Because this is leading towards possibly getting the acid out of here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I could use a couple of strong hands to get back to my secret stash. But revealing the location of my secret stash, you're gonna have to cut me in a little bit on this thing you're doing.
That's fair. We're trying to see, because there is a camp south down the road into the forest somewhere. We're gonna scope it out before anything. But if anything goes awry, I know that you, at least, are great at not getting into conflict.
Yeah, I heard. You were talking real loud.
Yeah. So, if we're at least fine, try to take a couple shots and then get running. If nothing goes bad and we can just do our job as is, we can, scope out the camp, see what's going on, maybe find a way to the church, and then your job's done. That's it. We just need you as an extra pair of eyes and an extra crossbow. That's it.
Sure, I'd be more than happy to help. Just can you strong folk come help me out?
Yeah, that's I will agree to do that with you.
All right.
I single-handedly took down an ogre, so
You did.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you can lift a bucket out of a lake then. Come on then. And he stands up.
Yeah.
Oh, you want us to do that now?
Well, yeah, I mean, a fish might eat it tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah, but
Who
also
knows what's gonna
tomorrow
happen
there might
overnight?
not be acid anymore.
Well, yeah, but I really want to get to my secret stash now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we can. I'll try something.
All right. Yeah.
I have an idea.
Can I insight him to see if he really just wants his stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Seven.
Anyone else roll that?
No, I don't know the joke. Everything's fucking face value with Dara.
Don't trust him as a default.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just say Kane because I think Lewis got called. he really wants this stuff. This stuff is a different stuff to his other stuff. Oh, so the stuff he wants all of you to go get is different to the chest. If that makes any sense to you.
Gotcha.
So we had the thing in the lake that he wants all of you to get, but there's another thing that's his that he wants to grab.
Gotcha.
Kind of badly explained that, but yeah.
Is it? It's in the same place?
No, it's down the fisherman's hut.
Oh, right.
You know, when the fisherman.
You were kind of covering where it was before, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
Question.
Yep.
Do you think there's a possibility we could do this first thing in the morning? Because, again, remember I mentioned the ogre. If like on a scale of 1 to 48, I'm at like a 12 today. So.
Oh, come on, please! Like, we just made this deal. It'd be really awkward if we just kind of slept on it. I mean,
Yeah, but I could also die.
You think we will change our minds?
Well, maybe. I mean, all you need to do is come over to where I am and just pull a chain. Just, like, yank it. I'm not strong enough. It's kind of, it's a compatibility problem. The box I threw in the lake was a bit too big. So I could put it in, but I can't pull it out. So I need strong people to come lift it.
I'll use all of my hit die for the day so I can go help you. Smuggler. Because I am literally at 12 HP after a fight and have not been healed.
Mm-hmm.
So what level were we?
4.
4.
Oh, you would be level 3 now because you didn't take a long rest.
True. So
I'm gonna
what
use
is
my
next?
hit dice as
D12?
well.
Okay.
I'm gonna use all of them.
Same, because I am hurting.
Good
Yeah,
lord.
5. You
What
do
the
add your
fuck? And then you get 24. Yeah, the con modifier.
Yeah, you add it to each dice, not
Okay.
just total.
Okay.
Oh,
So it's not 5.
It is. Yeah, it is. 12.
Oh, that puts me almost to full.
Or 11.
Mhm.
Sorry, it's 11.
Do we want to take our break now whilst Lewis is out?
Yeah,
Sure.
that works for
Let
me.
me
Gonna wait
add
for him.
my numbers real quick. Oh wow, that was exactly what I needed. I think.
Nice. I'm only 3 down now.
Yeah, we can take our break. We will be back here shortly. Gonna go pull a chest from underwater, maybe? I don't know. I'm scared. See y'all in 5 to 10 minutes, probably. Closer to 10.
Mhm.
And we're back.
Alright.
Hello. We're just
Oh,
gonna jump right
also,
back into
Liz,
it?
we took a short rest because he wants us to go do things, and I had 12 HP. So,
Yeah.
if you need to do anything for a short rest,
I think the only thing I had to do for short rest was just get spells back and HP. So
Yeah, all that for me is a long rest, so.
also now I get 5 temp HP if I kill someone.
Mhm.
When you wake up.
So,
I'm gonna head
the
upstairs
three of you.
real quick.
Mhm.
Knock. I don't know which room he's in. Oh.
knock on every door.
Wyndon,
Hmm?
we're going to help Smuggler with something. Pulling something. Do you want to join?
Well, I probably should. Hold on, you just hear glass vials clanking, and one of them falls. Doesn't shatter, just falls. Like, fuck.
You would
Well,
hear from a door close to you. Quit fucking shouting! Try and get some sleep.
I'll be downstairs.
Okay. There was something I was gonna do, but I guess I can do it later. He just heads down the stairs with his pack and everything.
Okay. Smuggler stood up and waiting by the door with a big smile on his face. Oh, thank you very much. Just this way, down in the Fisherman's Hut. And then, you can go and enjoy the rest of your evening. Yeah, you head out. Walking very briskly, as if he has some place to be. He brings you all down to the Fisher's Hut. It's kind of old, dilapidated, fishy-smelling hovel. The walls are covered in nets and dried dead fish. There's a large anchor outside of the door, seemingly once was owned by a mighty ship that is now long since passed. What do I mean? You would see the door is ajar, as if someone's been here before. Smuggler kind of peeks in a little bit, slowly opens the door with a creak and steps in. And with a bang, he gets thrown to the right. A figure has tackled him onto the ground. You see, first, as you all come in, you hear, "Smuggler, you fuck!" As you see a young dwarven woman hovering over him with a knife, pinned him down to the ground, and is threatening him with it.
Oh no! Don't do it.
She turns around and stands up. "Oh, you bought some fucking bodyguards, did you, you sick fuck?" "Hey, well, Ashes, it's not like that, I swear." He stands up and crawls away as now she's stood against all of you and, realizing she's outnumbered, puts the knife away. Sighs.
Is there a problem between you? I mean, I guess there is. Is there an issue we should know about, Smuggler? And I turn around.
What? Well, no, I mean, we used to be business partners, but I thought she died. "You left me to die, you stupid fuck." "Well, left you to die? You were corpsing on the ground and didn't have any way to help you. You left me in those fucking woods." And she's still holding her knife in her scabbard. "Hey, whoa, this is misinformation. This is slander."
Excuse me. What woods exactly?
"The southern woods, down here, down the river. Me and him used to have a business. Used to smuggle all up and down here, helping out the folk who needed it. And then we got attacked by some goblins one day, and this guy fucking left me." What?
tracks, I believe her.
You know, like, survival of the fittest, right? Shrugs.
If there is a visible her side and his side, I move my body to her side.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you.
I'm peeking in
You
from
know,
the door still. I'm not going in.
Yeah.
Listen, just help me get my stash. Our stash. My stash. She grits her teeth. And I'll give you all half of what's inside it, and then we can just go our separate ways. I'll even help you, like we agreed. We already made a deal. We basically shook on it.
You said maybe you will help us? No, you
Oh.
will help us.
I will help you, 100%. On my life. I'll even give you half in the box if you stop this lady from fucking stabbing me.
How about you give her half of it since it's y'all's stash?
Well, yeah, but then I wouldn't get any.
Can I turn around real quick to Smuggler?
Sure.
I kind of turn and like lean forward over him, and I just like I have chill touch. No, I don't use chill touch, but I use the effect of just like the hand coming up under him,
Mm-hmm.
and I look at him and I say, I mean, if you don't help us, you're gonna have to talk with my boss, and I'm just gonna roll an intimidation.
Okay.
Give him a little smile. Why is this up? This is not my character sheet. There we go.
In his mind, can I whisper, I don't think we've met? As a deception or as a me being his whatever whoever boss he's talking about, I'm just kind of flying, going on the seat of my pants.
Let's say that is the advantage that Palo rolled here. He would like raise up his hands. Hey, whoa, this is fucked. This is messed up. All right, 33% cut.
I didn't even
All
realize
of
I
us
had.
get.
I didn't even realize I had advantage on. That was my bad.
All of us, 33%, and we can all walk out of here without getting cut. That sounds like a plan to me. And I'll help you.
That's all I want. I don't care about any cuts. I just want you.
All right, 50-50 then. And he looks over at Ashes. That's a deal. He also at his hand.
All right.
Anyone?
You're still paying us to get your other box, correct?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. What's your
You
name?
shake his hand.
I look over at the.
Also, I shake his hand.
She looks at you. My name's Ashes. And I'd offer you half of what's in the box to chuck this prick in the river, but it seems you're already making a deal. If you need help, I'll help you instead of this prick.
I would appreciate
That's
it,
interesting.
to be honest. Yeah. And also, I would throw him in the river if he crossed me. Oh, we're good friends right now.
Yeah, we're good friends. He puts an arm around his shoulder again, Palo. Me and him, best friends forever.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ashes, are you fine with splitting the stash 50-50 with Smuggler?
No matter how much I would like to get it myself, I can't. It seems like he hired all of you for a reason. She motions over to the basically the wall is missing, and the river runs behind it, and there's this big winch that's old and rusty, with this massive thick chain attached. I tried it myself. As long as I get my fucking 50, do whatever you want with him.
Right.
Like I said, I'd offer to help, but I ain't doing it for free, and I fucking deserve this. This guy's an asshole.
Agreed. I think we can come up with a deal if you want to still help us, because I don't know. I'm getting a good vibe from you.
Well, let's talk about it tomorrow. After I
Mhm.
calm down.
Stretch, crack my knuckles, and walk over to the winch.
For now, who, Kane, you have the ability to make things glow, right?
Yes.
I have an idea. Just to see how bad this is. And I just walk over. I grab some like junk. I don't know. We'll be around, John.
Like you'd find like an old broken fishing pole and a box of rotten tackle and stuff like that.
All right.
And
So
some
I
wood and shit like that.
yeah. I'll just grab the box and say, can you make this glow real quick?
Done. He just touches
Mhm.
it.
And I just fucking throw it into the center.
Okay. It disappears underneath the brackish waves. Sinks down and down, and you see it getting dimmer and dimmer. As if a person with like a headlamp has vanished beneath the waves, and you slowly see the light receding, and then nothing. You don't know if it's deep. It's definitely dark. You kind of are unsure. It's a mystery.
All right. Well, seems to fucking keep going. All right.
You said this winch is like really kind of like just like rusty and gross.
Yeah, it's really shitty, big, like thick circle full of rust, and there's this big rotten wooden handle on it.
Wyndon, you have anything to get rid of this gunk? As I'm like taking just like little test movements of it to see how stuck it really is.
So kind of walks over to it. I don't have much. We could maybe. I really don't know of anything he could do out of character.
You would know, like,
specifically.
oil would work. Or like you could
True.
legitimately just brute force it. I mean, you can probably brute force it just once, but it's definitely open. You could give it a go. But if you don't have any oil, maybe another slimy thing, you're kind of unsure.
Okay. So
Yeah, I mean, I
more
can
than
just,
anything,
I can just hoof it.
yeah, more than anything, he just tries to see if it'll budge.
Okay, so as the sort of three of you are watching the wheel and trying to figure it out, Palo, you would see the box resurface and kind of bounce on the top of the waves. You swear you see a figure swimming in the liquid, but then it vanishes as the box starts to sink again. Do you
Oh,
grab it?
yeah. I'm gonna try to grab it as fast as I can.
Okay. Yeah, you stick your hand. You kind of have to stick your hand in the water to grab it, and you pull it out, and your fingers are a little bit red.
Yeah.
But you have the box. You would all turn around and see that he has the box.
Easy, I suppose.
Well, I mean, this is the light one, right?
Wait, this is the light box? The box I cast light on? Or this is the box we're looking for?
That's the box you cast light on.
Yeah. All right.
Oh.
How did that come? How did that come back?
Wait, can I open it real quick just to check if there was something to weigh it down, like it did?
Yeah, I mean the thing's full of old rocks and other square boxes that hold rotten maggots and dead worms. It was a sinker. You don't know how it came back up.
just shrug and start to turn the thing.
Yeah, I'm also trying to turn the thing.
Okay, so enough of you grab on to the large wooden handle and start turning it. You hear the screeching of rotten steel on steel as the chain slowly starts to move. You would see it slowly coming up. Bits of seaweed are dangling off the barnacle encrusted chain as you feel it snag on something. And I would like everyone pulling to make me an athletics check, please.
What the
that's
fuck?
not good.
Ooh,
I
buddy.
have a fucking 6. And I rolled.
Nat 20 plus 2.
Okay. So Dara and Wyndham, both of you, it snags, but both of you sort of put your forearms and elbows and shoulders against it and push with all your might. There's a grinding and a screeching, and then you feel something give way as the handle snaps. You hold on to the thing and kind of finish pulling it up awkwardly hand over hand as an old steel box rises out of the water. Oh, there it is. Oh, I thought I lost you. Smuggler walks over and grabs it, and Ashes runs over as well and tries to grab it as well. And they start muscling each other on the edge of the riverbank.
And I
Both of
just go
them.
into the middle
I'm-
and like grab it and hold it over their heads.
Okay.
I'm just gonna run over and like pull them back, like both by like the collar.
Okay. You think you
Okay.
saved them from a very bad fate. Yeah, they both stand there waiting expectantly for you to give them the box.
I turn away from them. What is it? Is it like unlockable or is it just like
It's
open?
locked.
It's locked.
Do you have a key, smuggler?
They both look at each other. Oh yeah, I do. Oh come on, let me
I
Let me
not
do it
trust
myself.
You to give Ashes her cut properly.
Well,
Give me the key.
you know, all of you would beat the shit out of me if I didn't, so you know that's security, right? His boss will come over and get me. Whoever that is. He takes off his hat and goes to the back of his hair where he has a ponytail and pulls it out, and there's a key. He hands it to you. Right, be careful with it. It's the only one I got.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good box, that.
Wyndon puts up his lockpick that he had. Just ready to.
Okay. You put the key in and twist, and you hear maybe like 8 other locks inside, like open up. Told you it was a very good box.
That is a
We
good
spent
box.
a lot of our money on that box, you fuck. And you,
I think Ashes gets to keep the box.
yeah, I get to keep the box. He doesn't say anything as you open it up. It's dry inside. I mean, there's a little bit of leakage, but it's a very good box. You open it up, and there's a bunch of little like squares and strange other boxes inside the box made of wood. A bunch of little knickknacks, large pouches of coin, strange materials that you haven't seen before. There's like a big hunk of ore, which looks like it has liquid inside, and you kind of shake it a little bit. Yeah, it's a very strange collage of weird things that you think maybe they own or maybe they were just smuggling.
I just look at all these things and I have no fucking clue what they are.
Good son. What did you guys do?
What didn't we do? Yeah, she's not wrong. Yeah. I mean, this guy
Okay.
got...
I grab one of the like pouches that have coins in it and then give Ashes the box, and I just like open up the coins and dig out like 20 gold and then give them the rest of the coins.
Also,
Okay.
I said I didn't want money. I wasn't talking about her.
He shakes his head. Screwed yet again, I see. Ah, well. At least I'm not dead. He walks over and starts rifling through the box.
I give Linden, Kane, and Pillow, all 5 gold, and then pocket 5.
Okay.
Oh,
So they kind of argue and fight over what's in the box, but eventually they would kind of get to an understanding. Ashes would take the ore and some of these square wooden boxes. Smuggler would take the majority of the coin, and this kind of like big pouch of what seems to be like powder.
Can I inquire on that?
Sure. I mean, he's kind of just wrestling through it.
I just kind of walk up. I'm like, oh, what is that like sack?
Oh well, it's 2 sacks, and he opens it up, and you see 2 smaller bags inside.
Oh,
One of this like coarse brown sand like thing, but it's kind of sticky. It kind of sticks together. This is brown sugar. You know, I got it from a foreign trader. This stuff is crazy. Yeah, try some. You're my friend. He hands you the bag.
I just kind of like take like a few little grains. I put it on my tongue. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, it's sugar.
Oh.
I mean, sugar's very rare around these parts. So it's really good. It's kind of strange. You've eaten like a pastry or something like that, or like, you know, sugary snacks back in the past, but this stuff, brown sugar, you've never heard of before.
You know, I mean, who am I to tell you what to do with your treasures or preach morals to a smuggler, but I think you've been here in this town a long time and drinking their ale and not contributing. Maybe donate a little of that back to the inn after, all the trouble you've caused. That can make some great pastries when everything's up and running again.
He squints his eyes. You know, just because we're friends. And as long as Ashes donates something as well. And she sighs. I'll donate something as well.
I guess we look over at some of her like treasures. Is there anything there that's like somewhat interesting besides general ores?
She has a very small bottle of some sort of liquor or liquor. And she kind of put it to the side. You can have this. The rest is mine. And you notice like a variety of white pills. Kind of, you wouldn't really understand the concept of. They're not like modern day pills, right? They're like small little stones almost. And then she put them away. Those aren't for the populace, they're for me.
What is that?
None of your business is what it is.
That's fair.
And she slides you the glass bottle.
what about the stone with like liquid inside? Who got that?
That is Ashes.
Okay. Can I just so Wanda just walks up and like, can I just look at that?
With
I'm
your
not
eyes,
gonna take
sure.
it. I just huh?
With your eyes, sure.
Okay. He just
holds
gets
it up
really
for you.
close with his headgear and just looks at it.
She shakes it a little bit and you see the liquid inside moving.
Ooh.
Can you tell what that is?
I don't know, can I?
No, I mean, you've never seen something like this before.
Okay. Like, he just asks, like, do you know what it is?
Nope. I'm looking for a seller.
Ooh. I'd love to know what that is. It's very interesting. Never seen anything like it.
You rich?
No.
And sorry, I don't think you'll ever find out.
Maybe one day.
Who knows?
Hey, if we find gold, we'll come back.
Hey, can you hold on to it for me?
She stands up and pockets it along with everything else. Alright, well. See you all at the tavern, I guess. I'm going to bed.
Alright.
And she heads off. And Smuggler stands up and takes some of this. There was 2 bags inside the bag with the brown sugar. And he pulls out the second bag, and this is kind of coarse, you think white sugar. And he takes it out and rubs it on his teeth and takes a long breath and shakes his head a little bit. All right, let's hang out tomorrow. All right, I've got some stuff to do tonight. And he walks off. Thanks for the help, I think.
I mean, hey, think about it this way: you now have, uh, one less stabbing occasion that could happen. That's a bright side.
Yeah, sure. Just kind of pats you on the shoulder. He looks like he's going through some stuff right now. Something you really haven't seen before. It's definitely not like he's not feeling bad anymore. That's for sure. He walks off and kind of stumbles a little bit as he goes. He heads off into the darkness.
The only thing in my mind is like all I think that could have been was just like concentrated alcohol in powder form. I'm like, I don't know, man, a strong ale powder. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know how that shit works.
People eat a lot of different things out in the woods. Could be anything.
Okay, so are you all going to head back to the tavern?
Yeah.
Get in there and get some sleep?
Am indeed.
Yeah.
You all return to the Swallowtail, haggard and exhausted, having to deal with so many people's problems that you've been dragged into, quite frankly. You all find your rooms and hit the bed, absolutely exhausted, completely done. You all fall asleep very, very quickly. You would hear nothing in the tavern, just the errant complaint and maybe someone shouting at another person or leaving for an evening.
I have a question. Oh,
yes.
Go ahead.
No, go on. You first.
No, the thing I wanted to do, it only takes like a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to cast in Wyndon's own way ritual on the eye that I took.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll use up the pearl that I got initially. But
Are you casting Identify?
Yeah.
Okay, so the pearl isn't consumed when you cast Identify, you just have it.
Oh, you just have it, okay. I didn't know if it was consumed or not. That's good.
Yeah, so you cast Identify. Does Identify tell you the exact spell?
Yes. So if the item was created by a spell, you learn which spell created it.
Okay. So you would learn that the eyeball has the spell Clairvoyance cast on it.
Oh.
Which you would know is basically like a poor man's scrying. You can choose sight or sound, and one or the other gets played through. You think whatever casted on him has been watching through his eyes.
Is it still watching me?
It is still watching.
Ah!
At least the spell's still active.
Yeah. Okay. Also, a question about it though. If it is a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them.
It is not a magic item.
So it's just
it's literally a dude's eye.
Right on.
With the spell on it.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
I wrap it back up so it can't see anything.
Alright. Smart. So, Palo, real quick for you. You'd fall asleep quicker than most, and you would have a kind of a strange dream. It's one of those dreams where it's short, that you don't remember it well in the morning, and you forget easily as you continue about living your day. All you would see in the evening is you would be standing on an infinite lake with infinite depth, completely black, like an abyss that you can stand on. You would see in front of you a monstrous pale sun, emanating this hideous light that spirals out in every single direction. It has no reflection in the water, and neither do you. And then you wake up. Oh, was he not here?
No, I was here.
Okay.
I said.
There we go.
I walked away right when you started. All right. See, that's how I don't remember it. I just didn't listen. No. But yeah. Then is that more of a normal occurrence?
No, I mean you would have dreams when you have accomplished things for the Pale Sun,
All right.
for nightmares through stress and stuff like that. Being a religious man, you can only assume that you've been contacted by a creature partially beyond your understanding. Maybe potent for good news, or maybe a condemnation. You are really unsure. But it was oddly serene in its incandescence.
I'll take that as a good note. You know,
That's
I'm
a
an
win in my
optimist.
book.
Yeah, I'm an optimist.
All right. So you'd all wake up, head downstairs. Ale and this awkward array of bread and dried food is in front of you. As you all sit down at the table, you would hear a noise in the distance that everyone is alerted to. They all stand up on their tiptoes, their ears alert and their eyes full of fear. A sound of a horn blowing out across the prairie, across the fields.
Uh-oh.
You would see Sir Gerard come downstairs quite briskly. This isn't right. That horn only blares when they're about to attack. But he looks around. They usually sounded at the last minute. And I don't see any goblins around here.
Where do they usually attack from?
The south and the north.
That's right, they do it at the same time.
I'll go and bolster the defenses as he heads outside, and he can hear the horn now fully and looks around. It's coming from the east. I don't like this. Can you all go?
Yes.
I need to make sure they don't attack.
Mm.
He nods and he'll head off to the south, shouting up at the bartender and Annie to go bolster the north and wake up Dimitri. As all of you start heading towards the east, you hear this horn now blaring. You see this monstrous tree in a mud-soaked field. At the far end of the field stands a monstrous figure, maybe about 20 foot tall. This massive mountain man with a monstrous beard that's bigger than all of you. This big, wild mane of hair that stretches down his back. He's this big, imposing giant. And he's standing in a field, alone, blaring a horn.
And it's just kind of open all the way to him. Like there's no cover really.
So the field itself is quite large and long. There's a river running down the center of the field, and a large spiny tree grows in the middle. Like this big tree that they haven't been managed to remove, that's long since dead. In the field there's a bunch of large rocks and stones that you could use as cover, but for now you don't see any hostilities, and you are also all level 4. So keep that in mind.
Question.
Yes.
How far roughly is he from us?
I mean, that's when you want to decide to stop, right? Do you want to stop 100 feet away from him, which is probably the safe distance, or like 60 feet, or want to walk right up to him?
How far would the tree be? Yeah. How far would the tree be?
The tree would be right in the center of the field, so the tree is the center point, and he's 50 feet, maybe like 30 feet, 40 feet away from it, and then you can decide how close you are to the tree.
I'm on the heels of them not going first, just following.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess I'm either me or Nara leading the charge.
I'm somewhere in the middle.
Has anyone seen someone that big before?
Once
Can't say I have.
it was not under these circumstances.
I want to also just kind of, I guess, ready as we're kind of going, when things seem to be moving or anything weird is happening, I want to like kind of use my Mask of the Wild ability to be able to like dive into the mud or behind a rock or try and kind of like hide and get a better vantage point without being right in the open.
Okay.
But I'll kind of stick with the group until shit looks bad.
As we're slowly walking forward, I'm just like kind of talking to the whole group, and I'm just like, well, I mean, yesterday we were jumped by something, we didn't know what it was, and we dealt with that swiftly. Maybe this is just another first encounter. We've all shown our strength to each other before, and I think that maybe this will be a simple task for us. Surely it will. And I do my feat. The feat is called Inspiring Leader.
All right.
That's ironic.
I'm inspired as hell.
I'm inspiring. You can almost tell listening that he's also doing it to hype himself up a little bit.
If you all feel inspired, take the what is it?
You gain 9 temp hit points.
It's not bad.
That is not bad at all.
So you would see this figure standing in the field, twice as tall as the ogre you fought before. He would have what all of you would see as a tattoo, but more like a scarification on his left shoulder. This monstrous bear with a long, drooping, drizzling tongue. Dara, you kind of recognize the imagery as that of the holy symbol that Rain gave you. But this one's a bear.
Okay.
He shouts out over the din as he takes the horn from his lips. Good morning, villagers. He stands there imposing with this monstrous great club in his hand. So, which amongst you killed my lieutenant? Reveal them now and we'll spare your lives.
Lieutenant? Question mark?
He stares at you.
How far away are we?
Step forward in front
I'm
of
just
everyone.
trying to pretend I don't know.
Play dumb.
I just kind of step forward in front of everyone. Does this mean you are Wrecker?
Good job. He
Look at me
motions.
keeping notes.
He slams his fist onto his scarification and bows. That would indeed be me. Good job. It's a mighty strong warrior you all felled. You felled.
What is the name? Oh, it's just called the Red Wolf. Okay, I found it.
Mm-hmm. It's just called the Red Wolf.
I gotta pop up my camps real quick. The bear. Is he friends with the Red Wolf?
He slams his hand again onto the scar. Friends, he is the Red Wolf. Red Wolf, Red Bear, Red Panther. There is no difference, really. They're all the same.
And you're leading this attack on this town?
Well, it's more like a siege.
Yes.
But yes, you could call it that. In
I'm not
fact,
a follower of the red. Oh, go, sorry.
In fact, I came here today to speak to those who cut through my ranks and to offer them a position in my stead.
She kind of like smiles so you can see her fangs, and her claws are kind of. She pulls her arm like out from her sleeves.
If you truly are the person who fell there, I mean, we're hiring. But I don't just come for you. I have an announcement for the town. Hand us all of your food. Every last grain of wheat, every last piece of meat. Give us your animals. And we'll stop fighting. We'll leave. Move on to greener pastures. Spread the name of our good faith. You'll all be free to do whatever you wish from there. We'll stop guarding the roads. We're done with this cultist shit.
Can we insight that?
Her ears kind of move like a fucking dog's, even like perk up a little.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Go ahead, make me insight checks.
All right. That was what, a -1?
He is not telling you the entire truth, but you can see in his eyes, he is sick and fucking tired of this goddamn town and all the little fucking townies that he clearly looks down on. I mean, you can't really avoid looking down on people when you're 20 foot tall and made of muscle. Clearly, kind of naturally, he thinks he's superior, but it's probably because he literally is. But yeah, he wants to leave, but he wants to take something with him as he goes.
I think you've taken pretty much everything this town has to offer.
There's always more.
There's literally people making deals with devils to survive. They have nothing. But you say you hate these cultists, huh?
Yeah. Well, they screwed us on bad business.
I mean, I don't speak for the whole group, so anyone can stop me, but it seems like we are in the business of making deals this weekend.
Yeah.
Your men guard the bridge. Yes?
They do.
Like I said, this town has much of nothing left. They're barely able to survive. You hate the cultists. We hate the cultists. They hate the cultists. If you move your men and let us over there, what if we wipe them out? You don't have to worry about them, and you can take whatever they had to offer. It's going to be more than this town has, I can fucking guarantee it.
I think the bear would be quite displeased if we left in peace. He scratches his long
It won't be
beard.
peace, I promise you that. We've been bound to make it very miserable for the cultists. I too, and I pull out my red wolf-like symbol, understand where you're coming from.
He motions down to that with a thick finger. I know it was strange when my sergeant reported that the lieutenant was mauled by a wolf. She eats wolves for fun.
Not this one.
Well, I admire that. There is one problem, though. We need to eat. And these sappy villagers have been eating all of our grain. They're keeping it in their houses, locked in their basements. And we want it. It's hard living off the wildlife that we've already hunted. I've got a big band here. A big band of people who get very upset and very murdery when they're hungry. Honestly, if I don't
Burned
get
their
this food,
fields. How do you
well,
expect them to have enough grain for you?
I know they do. They haven't tried to talk to me yet.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you... I don't... I speaking as a hunter, perspective only, was the acid in the river water really a good idea in hindsight?
No, that wasn't my idea.
That wasn't? Okay. Who was that?
Into this large burlap sack he's carrying, this monstrous bag, the size of, a horse. He's be carrying it. He unveils this slick, bloody skin about the size of a house's wall. Ebony black scales cover the front of it. Well, this is the creature your problem. I caught it and took a piece for a prize. We don't have anything to do with fucking with the river. I can't speak for my people, but that wasn't part of the plan.
So it all comes down to the cultists. I assume. They like snakes.
He shrugs. Like I said, I get you're all scared. We just want the food. We'll leave you alone. There's a small pittance to pay for people's lives, right? If we take your food, you could move on. Go to a different place. This place is fucked. I wouldn't shit in this place.
Just the river.
But you have.
He beats his chest a little bit. I promise you that I have not dealt with such hideous things. He looks behind him at the forest, betraying the people he has hidden. These assholes do.
No.
King can't be led to blame for his subjects' actions. Should the king of this land be to blame for the cultists in the church?
We don't know what land they come from. They seem to be a nuisance here as well.
Let me make this incredibly simple. We'll clean up the bridge and leave. We'll take your food. We'll leave ourselves. We all win. What's the next town? A day or so? You could all make it. Maybe you'll lose some elderly, but such is nature.
What if, and this is a long shot, you may need to give me a moment to put this together. What if there was a way we could get you endless food and you could stop pillaging random villages? Destroying families, killing random travelers. Then that's a real win-win, huh?
Well, the bear wouldn't be pleased if I stopped worshipping him.
That's right.
Your wolf definitely isn't pleased. I'm more than willing to accept free food. but I think we've earned the lion's share.
See, my thing is, I'm not opposed to the violence. I'm not opposed to the war. I'm not opposed to the death. I'm not opposed to what's doing, what needs to be done. I just don't do it on innocent families. You can have war and all of those things that you like. Maybe just focus it towards something a little less good, a little less innocent. Yeah, you and your group are bad, but hey, the cultists are real bad. I'm sure there's bigger and badder monsters out in the hills, out in the mountains. So many things you could do that doesn't involve killing innocent people.
Unfortunately, my new employers do not wish that for me.
Oh, you're not in charge. I thought you were the king.
He stops for a second. Don't test me. We have a stranglehold on this place. We can't save them all if we decided to attack.
Unfortunately, I'm not the one that's going to be able to make the decision for them to give up their food. I'll have to leave that to the town leadership. I was just offering you a chance to never have to work at it again, but that's fine.
He shakes his head. No matter how much I would want to live in a cave on my own, eating endless hordes of food, buying endless hordes of goods, the bear wouldn't allow it. And I'm nothing but zealous. War needs to happen, lest the beasts won't be fed.
I just gotta look at the group. I'm like, is Gerard the one that needs to make this decision?
Most likely.
Yeah, it's definitely not us.
No, not at all.
Didn't think it was our decision.
Go speak to your owners, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.
How about you just wait 20 minutes? You really
I don't wait
want to
for
get to
anyone.
that church. Okay.
I mean, you don't gotta wait. We could have a nice conversation. Dude.
I'm very fast. I can just run back real quick.
Yeah. You like you like khaki sack? I mean,
Your mortal games don't amuse me. You would need an awfully large sack.
alright, that's fair.
He crosses his arms. You have 5 minutes.
Alright.
Better get running.
Let's get going.
I cast Long Strider.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I just haul back to wherever Gerard
You haul
usually
ass.
is.
You run to the south, where you would see, just as you come over to the gate, you would see in the forest a few, maybe 2 of these rickety catapults, manned by about 10 goblins, all waiting. You would see, stood in cover in trees, 3 bugbears with shields and chainmail, just staring at the opposition, seemingly waiting. As you run through, Gerard turns around, surprised by all of you. What is it you need? What have you done?
There is a deal to be had. I don't think you're gonna like it.
But it
What
seems
is
to be
it?
the only option.
Pretty much almost all of the food for no more war, basically. Or siege, at least.
To end the siege?
They'll
Yeah,
pack
and
up,
this is-
they'll
would leave.
leave.
Yeah, they would leave.
And whose authority do you have this on?
Big man himself.
Mm.
Yeah. There's currently a 20-ish foot gentleman who's running the whole thing, at least on the war end. Struck a deal.
with a lot of backup if we say no.
We can take them. He looks out over at his sort of side. If you can kill Wrecker, the rest will scatter. I hate the sounds of negotiation.
All right.
We want revenge. He
If they
stops as you.
leave, they clear up that fence because there's probably that bridge. Because we know there's more than just these guys here, which means more backup possibly. And if they clear up that bridge, we can get to the cult who is poisoning the water. It's not them. It's some giant snake. So even if we clear out these guys here, there could be more backup, and then we're going to be hurting real bad to try and take out the people that are poisoning your water supply. It is up to you in the long run. I'm just telling you what I see from my side. If you want to fight and you think what grain's left is worth it, fine. If you want to give it up, we get the water clear and we escort all of you back down south where we came from until things come back. That's fine as well.
He looks like he's on the verge of having a breakdown, grabbing the bridge of his nose as you've just loaded all this upon him, but you see his brother walk up behind him and put a hand on his shoulder and say, Gerard, the war for you's over, mate. Come on, let's finish this. As Gerard looks at all of you after you've laid it out for him. I came here to retire. Not to engage in more war. Not to kill more people. Not to see more people dead. We'll give him the food. In exchange for our lives. Now go!
Right.
Off
All
with
right.
you before he changes his mind.
Yeah, we got about 2 minutes. Let's go.
Okay.
Keep tripping
you
over my
all-
robes. Like, wait.
You've all run
Wait
through
up.
the soggy mud and marsh across the cobblestones and past the tavern and hospital. You would see Smuggler's face is plastered to the glass on one of the windows, just watching all of you run around. He's not
Flip 'em off
engaging in
when I see
any.
him.
Yeah, I was literally about to say the same thing.
Be a fellow at the same time.
He's 100% not engaging in any warfare at all. Not even trying, actually. You think he might have pilfered some ale from the bar while everyone's gone. As you all arrive back in the field, Wrecker's there waiting, tapping his foot. You hear the sound of his foot tapping.
Just like that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Just shaking. It's hard for us to run because it's like ground's moving.
He widens his arms, shouts louder. So, what is it you want?
You, my
Talk it
friend.
up.
Yeah, got a deal.
A smile shows on his bearded face. He strokes the azure hair that is at the tips of his beard and mane. Well, it sounds like a business to me. Very well. Bring us your food. Tomorrow morning. We'll collect it and leave. Keep this in mind. Don't make it unsatisfactory. Bring us plenty. We're hungry after all. As he raises his hand and then moves like that, as you would hear clattering in the trees, as you see maybe 10 goblins all scatter out. 4 of them dragging this large trebuchet behind them. As he stomps, you see him. He's taller than the trees here. As he walks further and further away from view, eventually concealed just by the distance and sort of the rain and concealed by the trees. You all sit there. Maybe let out sighs of relief or tension and look at each other. What do you want to do?
I should have asked him what he does for his beard.
It's pretty great beard.
Yeah.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I mean, it's never a good feeling.
One of you got books about deities from Brannigan, correct?
I whip out my my book. I'm like, yes, sir.
I know a bit about the bear he spoke of, but if there's anything more in there, I'm curious by who he says his new bosses are. And he seems very quick to please his god. I don't know. It's odd.
Well, would you want to go back to the tavern and look through it?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Let's head back then. I guess give the not good, but better than bad news.
Oh, and then I
Okay.
have his journal, right?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I want to
You
look
never
at
actually
that as
read it.
well. Yeah.
Okay.
While everyone's packing up food, because I'm like, I ain't from here.
I wanna spend some time getting some barrels of the river water, like put within like a as much as I can fit. I hate to say it like this, but within like a 5-foot radius, and just purify food and drink.
Okay. So all of you return to Heartshome. You, Wyndon, travel off and go grab some barrels and some people to help haul it. Dara and Palo and Kane, you return to the tavern, sort of spreading the word as you would have spread it to everyone else as well on the way. So let's start off with Dara. You would open up the book. Weird scrawlings of what was once a regal and well-spoken man. It's kind of harrowing to see how far he went in his elder years. Although you still see a glimmer of who he is written in the pages. There would be like an index at the front of the book. Scrolling through that, you would notice multiple explanations of everything you could ever possibly want. This man has clearly dedicated his life to knowledge, and this is his pièce de résistance, as it were. I think that's how you pronounce it. What is it? It's like your greatest work.
Magnum
There's
opus.
a word for it. Magnum opus. There you go. This is his magnum opus. You scroll through and you would find what are basically his musings on the existence of deities. It would say that there are a possibility for millions of gods and goddesses and deities. Some are worshipped fervently, others are cast to the side. Gods that are like other gods are often the same, but worshipped by different people. People have imposed their own personal ideals upon a deity. For Rekka, that might have been, this is me talking now, for Rekka, that might have been quite literally the fact that he subscribes more to the fact of the bear than to the wolf. And for him, the deity is the bear and not the wolf. Some gods have actual cosmology, but other gods are vague, worshipped by hundreds in 100 different ways. The final musings would be that gods are as manipulatable as mortals. If enough people believe a certain god's ideals, that god will bow and change itself to survive. And the page ends.
Just gonna look at Pillow like, I have spent nearly all of my 200 years of life stamping out the bad. These guys are bad, and I don't want them walking away from here to do this exact thing to a whole bunch of other innocent people. I feel like we did what we had to do to save this town, seeing as it's so far gone. But I have a couple of really possibly self-destructive ideas.
Go.
I was thinking the same thing, but
He mentions these monsters have been living in these woods and these swamps, attacking when someone comes by, very just living life in shitty ways, but not organized. At first, I thought Wrecker was what was organizing it. But now he says something about a new boss. I don't know who exactly. I mean, I feel like these things obviously answer to Wrecker. But maybe our Oracle friend out there might know who the new bosses are. And maybe, with the help of Brannigan's notes, maybe him if he's still alive, we can get in touch with the Hound and make sure they're not a problem anymore. I'm not afraid of making that deal on my behalf and my consequence, I guess. I think we still take out the cultists and I think that's within our hands. But just shooing these guys along to be someone else's problem does not sit well with me.
Should we set up a some kind of plan in motion in case for tomorrow?
In case they don't hold up their end of the bargain, you mean? Or just in case we need to go after the cultists?
I mean, post the deal, but kind of start putting something together to make sure we can prevent this from happening again.
Yeah, I think the least amount of meddling we can do until that deal is done will save lives here. And then anything after that could save lives somewhere else.
Yeah, because we're only really after these cultists, but I don't think it's a bad idea to see if we can do something about them still.
You knew the language that the Hound was speaking.
Yes.
Do you know anything about what type of creature it was and how... I'm having a hard time placing it. It seems at the surface something very bad, but it subscribes to so many rules and can help and a give and take, and I don't know what to make of it.
I could take a guess, but John, could I maybe do I guess either a religion or history check to kind of see if I've come across something like the Hound before?
Mm-hmm. I think I will tell you what you would know.
Yeah.
So you would understand more about the Hell's cosmology than most. being connected to it in the way that you are,
Yeah.
You would know their hells are undefined. They're a place of wild abandon. They are organized in a sense, but none of them work together. They all work against each other. You could say it's a true anarchist, but it's also a monarchist state. It's an incredibly confusing place. Everyone wants to kill each other, but there's still a ruling class. You would know that the ruling class are made up of deal brokers, who are basically creatures from an alternate dimension that mortality call devils. And these creatures broker deals with people because they have a sort of a cosmic power to do so. You don't know of the exact race or breed or whatever you could call it for this creature.
Yeah.
You would know it's a deal maker. And you would know it has power and is not to be trifled with. However, it is not necessarily a crazy, monstrous evil. It's just a creature who is attempting to gain something from the material plane, like a merchant would.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess the best thing I could come up with, Dar, is just the Hound is more of kind of like a mediary for its powers and wishes, but it's not really something we want to mess with unless we have no other option.
That seems
They
too
want
hard.
something out of here, and I point just to the general area, and that's it. So it's up to you. It's kind of there to use its power for its own gain.
Because unless I'm mistaken, well, all four of us, point out the window to Winden purifying water, have shown
I actually
great
was
abilities.
gonna I was gonna ask something. So
Uh-huh.
while this is happening, can we say it's been enough time that I did that and I want to bring some water into everyone?
100%. You
Okay.
would have even caught the conversation as you come in.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Not
But,
gonna
like,
I-
My bad, I shouldn't have done that. I tried to
No,
include everyone.
no. I was listening, and so I should have said something earlier. No, but the first, like, I get, like, flagons, I guess. First one I give is to Kane because he's been asking for water this whole time.
And this is good. Dip my
It
finger
is.
in it.
It is good, yes. Since I did that.
Hurts less than the water did yesterday. Takes a big drink of it.
It's good. I mean, it's water.
Yeah, it's water. It's not acid and poop.
Yeah.
Thank you, Winden.
Mhm. So what I miss? I guess.
I just give like
Getting
the
a plan.
general rundown of everything
Yeah.
that I've said so far. It's like all four of us have shown that we're great at what we do and can do pretty impressive things together, but can we take out an entire organized army that is now following a god of war, literally the god of war, on our own? I don't think so, especially with unknown forces. I think this is a desperate times call for desperate measures. And like I said, I will bear that burden.
This may be a bad time to say this, but I really didn't get a chance to say it earlier. But you know that I took out of that guy in the forest? Well, there was a spell cast on it. And it's still on it. That's why I have it wrapped up. Something's watching us through this eye. was watching through his eyes, quite literally, but it's still there. Just wanted to throw that out there. I'm still not quite sure. I'm assuming
I bet whoever's
the
watching
snake god.
is either the snake god or who we are tasked to dispose of.
Wyndon,
Hmm?
you said you did something to figure that out, that something was cast on it. Can you do that again?
Of course. I can't do it very many times within a day. It's tiring. But
Well, whenever you feel up to it, I need you to cast it on something.
what do you need?
He takes off his mask.
Ah.
He points at his forehead.
Okay. Do you want to
Just
do
to
that
be
after
safe?
this? Yeah, we can do that after we plan, unless you want to do it right now.
Let's do it right now.
Okay. So Wyndon kind of just has kind of stands up and asks Kane to lean his head back, like, you know, the backrest of the chair kind of thing. Holds a feather and the pearl near it, and then moves his like monocle down his from his headgear, and just using kind of like almost a little reflection through the eyeglass to the pearl, and using the feather as kind of like a backdrop, starts to look at it.
You would notice that as you come to try and interact with it, it reacts to you and starts slithering around, as if like it's trapped in his skull. Imagine like grabbing a big floppy thing by the base and just wiggling it. It's like moving very quickly. It's like it's as you give it a closer inspection, it has these large, like mantis-like mandibles that stick out of its face like pincers. Its eyes are beady and black. It has this hideous fanged maw, and its body is covered in this chitinous sort of green scales, green and purple scales, as it like reacts to you and attempts to attack you, but it can't move out of the hole it's in. You cast identify on it. It doesn't particularly come up with anything. It is a actual creature. It is not a magical effect. It is not a spell. It is not a magical item or anything like that. It is a thing. An actual living being.
Wyndon looks at Kane kind of away from the, you know,
I put
little
my mask
creature
back
out of
over
his
it.
yeah, just looks at him and just says, "Hey, so I'm not finding anything. It's alive, though. It's its own thing."
Okay. I just got a little worried there. Sorry to be a waste of time. Just our plans being spied on didn't sound like a good idea.
We want to keep
Definitely not
this
fun.
eye around. I don't see any need for it, do we? It seems like a liability. Especially
I don't know.
since it's been on you for this entire thing.
I
What if
can
it comes here?
try and trade it with Smuggler or Ash.
There you
Ashes.
go. Do it with a smuggler.
Okay.
Well, speaking of interesting things, I know she like pulls out her back that like scimitar that he was carrying. Somehow, overnight, I know what this does. I don't quite understand how I know what this does. But And she just kind of like looks at it and concentrates for a second, and it just like starts to morph into like a little snake and like plops in her hand. It does this.
The snake would curl out a big pair of wings from its back and start to fly.
I did that. I didn't know it did that.
It would zip around and land on the table. It would look up at all of you, and you would notice it has 3 eyes. 2 on the side, 1 on its forehead. It looks at you expectantly, as if you summoned it for something.
I give it some water.
You would think it pretends to drink, as if
Oh, it's just making you happy.
that is the action it has been subscribed. You know it's a magical creature. It doesn't need to do any of that. It's an actual sword. It just kind of slithers around. It's just watching. It seems like you said action, and it started to do its thing. Like it's looking for danger. It's slithering around. It's like being hostile to people who walk past.
Oh no. Come here. I like put my hands out for
grab it and pull it
no,
back.
No. Come here. I just kind of like put it around my neck. I'm like, take a nap.
It pretends to go to sleep.
Okay, thank you. Don't attack things unless I tell you, okay? Thanks. Anyway, it does that. I had a dream about it, and then it did it.
That's odd. So like a. I guess I'm closing my. Who would have the idea to do that? Like, just make that a thing.
I don't know. You seem to listen to me. Does it work like an actual like find familiar spell? Like I can see through its eyes and stuff if I choose to, and like all that.
Oh.
Yeah. It flies. It's quiet.
Maybe a big snake made it.
Maybe. I'm thinking probably so. But it seems to.
It made this after
listen.
all.
Oh, what?
I've been reading in this book. Yes. This book mentions Graza. I met Graza. I was tied to a post when I met Graza. It gave me this creature we now know. I assume it can make awful shit like that.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, isn't it not like just a baby? Well, it's still growing.
Can't say I've
Is that a
noticed
question to me?
Growing. I don't think it's been growing. No.
Well, I thought it was.
It certainly wanted out at one point.
Nah.
But I won't let it.
Hey, and I have a question for you. Have you tried doing that mind talking thing with it?
So no, but I don't think I don't think it would work. See, it is kind of the reason I can even do that.
Shoot him with his own gun.
Yes, basically.
I mean, have you tried though? I'm not meaning to be rude about it. I just was curious.
Better time then now, no. And I just try and talk to the thing in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excuse me.
You certainly have a headache. Everything starts to melt a little bit around you. You look into your cup for some sort of security and would notice your own reflection in the water looks like a snake. You blink and it's gone.
Should have tried that before. Just rubbing his temple.
Are you okay?
Spoke to you.
And indeed it did.
Huh. Curious.
I might have to test that out later to see what else you could do with it. If you're okay with that, that is. I'm just shooting ideas.
We'll start slow. One thing I'll say is I don't think we can deal with both of these forces at the same time.
Well, should we go to Brannigan and see if he's alive?
I think I'd like to stop to talk to the fortune teller on the way, because we may need all day if the hound is gone, like they said they would be, if we want to try and bring it back, if that is what I'm planning to do.
Yeah, it's up to you. But I'll go with your plan. I mean,
Okay.
if everyone's set here, most of the village has stuff to do, so we got a lot of downtime until.
Plus, I don't know if anyone has told Brannigan what is happening yet, or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Something
Yeah,
tells
we
me
need
he
his.
won't care.
I don't think he will either, but better us check on him than someone else from town and see what's happened.
That's true. All right.
So, you'd all head out. You would see the cart is closed because it's the morning. You think that the fortune teller only comes out at night.
All right.
Maybe it is a mortal after all. You would head down to Brannigan's hovel. You would see outside a cloaked figure digging a grave. At first, you think it's Brannigan, but the light shines true, and you notice a muzzle peeping out of the hood. You also notice there's a third grave.
Wyndon looks away. Like he did before.
I just woke up.
All right.
Do you need any help?
Well, I've heard it's ceremonial to dig these. I think I'm quite finished. It stabs the shovel into the ground. Well, I would tell him to rest in peace, but I shall be with him shortly.
He made the deal.
He did indeed. And
He
it was
brought me-
illness?
It was. He brought me forth in the flesh of his daughter, made a deal, then made a deal with you. A triangle, if you would imagine. Everyone's connected somehow. Is this something you wished?
Kind of thinking I might need to strengthen our connection a little more.
Well, I'd always enjoy that.
How knowledgeable are you on things? If I am to ask for something, do I need to know specifics and people, or are you able to identify people for me?
I know people, yet I am not omniscient. If you wish for something that is too obscure, I do not think that even I could help you. And I would not like to pass you over to another one.
You all have like sales quotas, competitions.
Well, if we don't achieve a number of souls a year, we get killed.
That's a very steep sales quota. Gotcha.
It's quite a competitive business.
I think I'd like to avoid that business.
So would I. Not the business, the murder.
Right, yeah.
I quite
You've
enjoy
already
this.
dug a grave. Kidding. Anyway,
They smile, seemingly unaware of the joke, but revels in the awkwardness.
Wyndon pipes up for a second. So you said that you would trade things if we brought you something. You said magic items. It's not quite a magic item, but it might interest you. Maybe?
Show me.
Just kind of reaches back behind him with the eye
you
wrapped.
want the eye to see it?
I don't know.
Just face the eye down into the leather, I guess.
Yeah, it's literally just in the leather still. I wouldn't leave it open too long, but here, if you want to take it.
Whose eye is this?
He was a cultist in the woods that
No.
ambushed us,
Whose
but it's got a...
eye is this?
Oh,
I just looked at Kane. Like, what was the name of
Grasa.
the best guess?
yeah.
Grasa
It's
is the best guess.
Very well. It is a rather obscure deity, if you could call it that. I know that mortality has a habit of giving creatures like me labels such as that. They open up their palms to receive the eye.
Would this be sufficient enough for a deal I would like to make?
Depends on the severity of the deal. It's a interesting item, yet I am unsure if I can bend it to my will. If I can't, then you're giving me a hindrance.
Throw in a really cute snake. It turns into a sword, or the sword turns into the snake. Whichever way you want to look at it, I guess.
That seems more reliable.
It does listen to you after a bit, I think.
I do enjoy that.
And this is why I asked how much knowledge you knew out of your reach, but the monsters and creatures that have been terrorizing this town plan to move on after a deal that was struck. I'm very tired of deals. but they're organized. There's a gentleman, very, very large one, named Wrecker, but he mentioned bosses, new bosses. And I don't know if it's him or them that's unionizing these things. But I feel like desperate times call for desperate measures, and I will do most anything to keep them from just going and killing the next town and the next town and the next town.
It is interesting, isn't it? It's quite kind-hearted of you. I am sure you wish for the innocents to live. What of those who stand in the way of this tide? I can't kill such a creature myself, nor would I want to engage in battle. I quite enjoy being unharmed, as what I have servants for. Yet who would stand in this creature's way?
Well, I mean, my best guess, and I hate to make the deal my best guess, is that if Wrecker and these bosses are no longer in the picture, things will go back to some semblance of normal. These creatures won't have anything to band them together, and maybe they'll go back to their usual terrorizing, which is much more manageable by people like me.
Give me the
But as they are
eye.
now.
Bring me the eye. She holds out a hand.
Real quick.
Hmm.
Wyndon walks over to Dara and just kind of whispers a little bit and says, "What if you make a deal to turn the giant and his people against the cultists? Somehow."
We're bound to deal with the cultists.
No, I know. But it would give us some help.
But then how do we stop them after they're done with the cultists?
I mean, kind of seems like, I don't know, it's just our secondary goal. Because we're kind of tied to killing the cultists.
My
I don't know.
primary goal, even if it means something horrible happening to me, is stopping more towns from falling. If I'm going to make a deal with a creature, I want it to be the biggest bang for my soul.
Can you try both?
I could try both.
Okay, cool. That's... Scoots back over to where he was.
Such a saying is quite relevant here. To live to fight another day. Maybe that is your recourse. After you've finished off with your business here, maybe go to a different town, to a different city. You can't kill all these creatures yourselves, though I know mortals are more than willing to engage in war, especially on their own territory.
So, are you saying that as far as... I'm confused.
I'm saying there's no shame in cowardice. If you leave this creature to live tomorrow, who knows what can happen? You could kill him tomorrow also, if you deem yourself strong enough. I do not know you. That is for you to decide. It's a difficult question. How can you save the most people? I don't have an answer to that. But I do have an answer for the eye. More
So
of...
think more too. Well, this Wrecker gentleman was large and scary. He is known. I know who he is. I can learn who he is, learn more about him. I don't know who these bosses are. Who's strong enough to bend him and everyone else to their will? Or
That's the
convince them
question,
otherwise.
isn't it?
That's who
You
I'm worried about.
you can't remove them as you are now. So, she pockets the eye. What I would do if I was in your situation? Well, I think that is a bit of a false statement. I would just leave and make deals where I can, but you all seem to want to help people. Just keep in mind that even if Rekka dies, you still don't have access to their leaders. And if all of you die when you engage him, you'll be dead. And isn't that the worst fate of all?
Hoping this conversation will give us a little insurance in one of these situations.
Well, I could secure your soul so you can work by my side forever, if that is what you wish. Apart from that, I know not of what else I can give. If you are not open with me for what you want.
I don't know if it's something magical or whatever on your end that can deal with it, or if there's some way to bolster, again, I don't want to speak for everyone else, but myself in a way that I can handle these people. I think any help to stop an army, I don't.
They think, well, the items you have in your possession are not expensive enough to be granted the power you seek. Your soul might, though I know that mortals enjoy those things.
I'm not putting them to much use, honestly.
No, you're not.
Okay, I can say it. You can't say it.
I shall be here till the moon comes up. Make your decision by then. Or else forever hold your peace. Or resummon me again one day, when your heart is settled. I don't talk morality, I just talk business. She nods her head. They nod their head, very sorry. And just turns around. I shall be inside the hut. And they walk off.
Well, that was an interaction. I don't know.
I know exactly what to do. Or what to ask for. Or
if we try
chance being able. Oh,
and
sorry, go on.
Fight. If we try and fight Wrecker and die, our souls belong to the wolf, yeah? Because we failed our deal.
No. That's true. We never finished our deal. So yeah. The hound.
It's unfortunate that we give them the food and they go on and keep doing this elsewhere. But I don't want to be a servant to a devil forever if we lose.
Yeah, no, to be completely transparent, I think we don't do anything to wreck these monsters until after they've left and we've dealt with the cultist. I don't want to wrap everyone else into this bad time when I'm willing to throw myself into it. I don't want y'all to have to.
I mean,
with.
all I have opinion wise on the whole Rekka thing is hunting's a little bit more fun if they're moving. So there's that. We can get the jump on them once they're on their way and we can start moving. If you think about it like that.
Poison the grain. Sorry, I don't need to say these things out loud.
I don't think
Maybe
that's a good idea.
Yeah, not this grain here, maybe. Somewhere down the road. But
Wait.
I mean,
do you still have some of that mercury?
Yeah, all of it.
About how much is in there?
He looks at it.
It's a surprisingly small vial, like a test tube, but it's entirely full. Probably about maybe the size of your finger.
Alright. Can I use a little bit of that?
Yeah.
Isn't that meant for whatever we have to do with the cultist?
Well,
I'm sure.
Use it.
I'm sure it's more than enough, to be honest. But I have a tiny idea. I kind of is Dimitri still sleeping?
Dimitri, no, he would actually be up because Rekka was around, so he's probably around the village, grabbing grain and stuff like that.
Right.
Looking absolutely fucking exhausted. If you all head back into town.
Good.
Also, does anyone have like a needle? Like a very small needle?
Oddly specific, 1 sec.
I do
I'd
not.
probably find one.
I, for some reason, have a lyre. I don't know how to play it. I've just been carrying it around.
Did you find it?
Yeah. Those have strings, right? Isn't that a lyre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does string work? You know, they're pokey.
So I have a herbalism kit, but I don't think there would be that in there. I don't think I do.
I may have to ask, or just use like a small sliver of wood or something. But I have an idea, and I want to talk to Dimitri about it.
Well, let me know if I can help.
All right. I guess I'll go look for Dimitri then.
Okay. Yeah, you would find Dimitri sort of hanging out in the middle of town, kind of shouting at people to get them moving. They're basically filling up what is basically like a big shed in the middle of town with the wheat and grain. Just to keep it dry and to gather all the food again.
All right. I just kind of run up and I'm like, hey, Dimitri.
Palo, right?
Yeah, at your service.
It's good to see you again.
I got a question.
Shoot.
Is there any meat that's not fully not like brittle? It could be salted, maybe.
He looks around. We have a few meats that can be rehydrated.
Right.
Sure.
I have a plan, not to, stir anything now, but once more they leave, kind of a long-term plan.
Yes, just we've already decided, keep the ambushes away from the town, please. No. Wait for us all to go.
Yeah, no ambushes.
Fuck that with that on your own life, not mine.
Yeah, no, that's fine. by any chance, is there how much meat are like, I guess weight wise would be being given to them?
Maybe about 10 pounds.
All right. I have an idea only because our business with them isn't done. And we can't excuse me. We can't at least personally let that keep happening. Not good for anything really. So we're probably going to be tracking them in the future. But I kind of need a way to slow them down a bit. So, not thinking of, making it too obvious. I more just want to somewhat, for lack of a better term, poison some of the supplies. Not the grain. The grain's too hard to do. But meat isn't.
He sort of stands back, resting his back against the shed. Now that is a very risky plan. But if you promise that you don't go overboard, I might have something that can help you.
I'm not going to go overboard. I'm not going to taint all of it. Just a couple pieces.
Why don't we give these bastards a taste of their own medicine? This is not the first time I've had to poison someone. We take the ale from the tavern. We won't have anything to drink, but we split it half and half with the water from the lake. And then, when they drink it, they'll get sick. And hopefully it will be long gone.
That's not actually half bad an idea.
Yeah, see?
Plus, our friend can purify some more water for you to drink later on.
That would be wonderful.
And I mean, if you think about it, in hindsight, we if it comes down to them thinking about, oh, they poisoned us, it could more just be we had to water it down with something.
Well, hopefully it will be long gone by the time they notice.
Yeah,
I'm not planning on making any excuses. If they find me, I'll tell them I fucking did it and run away.
Well,
I'll get started on that.
All right.
He taps you on the back. And thank all of you for doing this. You saved our lives.
I mean, I think we could have done much more, but I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess.
He puts a hand on your shoulder and looks you dead in your eyes. We always think we can do more, but we can't. I promise you I've seen it before. I felt it before. You've done what you can, and that's enough. That's all that matters.
I just give him a smile. I'm like, thanks for that.
And blessings be on you all. He grabs his little voodoo doll and nods his head before heading off.
I'm still confused about that.
Before you leave, I mentioned maybe everyone head south. Do you have somewhere you're planning to go, or are you just roaming with this town when you leave?
Yeah. Try and find the nearest one. Maybe Stixon. It is pretty close. We're not sure. Places all over have been getting attacked. We're not the first.
You might want to watch where they go first and then not go that way.
That is a good plan. We shall do that.
If
oh wait, do
you
we
find
still
yourself down south where Bobby and the rest of us came from, and I just give them general directions to where my house is, whoever can fit, they're more than welcome. I don't know when I'll be back that direction. There's not much there, but lots of veggies to forage nearby.
All right, thank you very much. Make sure to give it a look. Sorry, you going to say something, Lewis?
Oh no, I was thinking out loud. I was saying, we still have the sword, if anything, right?
You
The
do still
serpent.
have the sword, yeah.
My snake,
Yeah,
currently.
I have ideas, but yeah, I guess while he works on that, I guess what else could we do?
Oh, I know what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe as near to the bridge as I can get without raising any sort of suspicion, like them not the enemy really watching or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I want to sit down and take off my little snake buddy. I'm like, okay, I need you to just fly straight up and look around for me. And I'm gonna, that's what I need you to do. Okay, bye. I'm just gonna chunk him up, and I want to look through his eyes up to like the 150 feet or whatever that I still have connection with him, and see if I can get a good view.
So you hear up into the air. You see the little speck in his little flappy wings up in the sky, kind of obscured by the sun coming down. You would look through his eyes, and you would see the guard sort of on the gate, on the bridge. Sorry, still the ogres with the ballista and a couple of goblins as well. But now they're sort of more relaxed. They're talking to each other. They're kind of sat around, not doing much. You see 4 goblins have started to fight each other over what seems to be like a severed head. You would see over the forest, a long winding road stretches upwards. It climbs up a hill, covered in trees, and you would see on the top of that hill in the distance a church. An ominous green glow shoots out of each window. Even in the sunlight, you can still see it.
Any movement of people or anything around the outside?
Not out of the outside, no. Occasionally, you would see the light source get obscured by a figure, as they seem to be walking around. There seems to be some movement inside, but there's no guard outside or anything like that.
Okay. I kind of just like relay that to Pello and whoever else is like nearby of our group. And then as far as like all the I could see the goblins and the people just kind of chilling nearby. Do I see any sort of larger encampment for these various creatures?
You would notice their camp is basically the bridge.
Okay.
They would have like a big bonfire in a cleared area outside next to it. Their entire job is just to sit here and guard it. So
Cool.
the camp's there. You don't think goblinoids really care about comfort?
Yeah. And then bringing him back down.
Okay.
Okay. Don't bite anyone. All right.
It hisses and kind of wriggles, and as you start moving back, it slithers into the sheath and then transforms back into the sword as you think it only has a limited time on it. As now you have a very nice snakeskin scimitar.
Oh yeah, this thing's cool.
Yeah, the green light, that doesn't ring a bell with me.
They're also up on top of a hill, which sucks, but they also seem to be inside, which is nice.
At least it's surrounded by trees.
Maybe when Wrecker and whoever come to pick up the food, we can suggest them walking in that general direction, maybe make a little bit of a cover for us. Maybe these cultists will be confused by the movement of a bunch of goblinoids and giants through their forest.
I'd say likely so. It's just getting them to do that.
Yeah. They seem to hate the cultists. Maybe they'll help us out a little bit.
Maybe I could suggest that they do that.
There you go.
That will certainly mean my death.
Then don't do that. I don't fully understand what you can do, but it's impressive.
You and me both.
Mm.
I enjoy it, though. It's the only reason I haven't cut it out of my head.
That's good. I really want to talk to the fortune teller before I go back and see the hound, but I don't know how our timelines are going to match up, so I think I'm just going to go chill and sit around that fountain until I see movement or until it seems like it's too late.
Arrive
Okay.
at the store an hour early.
Yeah.
Sit there.
Camp
And
out for the New
like-
Yeezys.
I welcome any ideas any of y'all have as to what we should do there, but I would like to know who the bosses are before I make any rash decisions with my soul. But
So, I mean, ultimately, it's yours to give.
mainly I was hoping maybe y'all had better ideas so I didn't have to do it, but
Mm.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Also, so Wyndon would like to, when all these things are kind of done, we're waiting. I did want to use some of the magic crystal that I found as well that I took from the dragon skull. I want to try to make some like explosive shot for my pistol.
Okay.
As well as finish up that healing potion, I think, if we have
Okay,
enough
so
time.
you can't do both.
Okay.
So pick one of
Explosive
the
shot it is.
Okay. So, go ahead and make me a. What two proficiencies do you have?
So alchemist. Let's see. Because that's
Do you
off.
have Tinker's tools?
Do what?
Do you have Tinker's tools?
I do.
Okay, then make me a Tinker's tool check.
Okay, so what would I do for that?
It's an intelligence check, let's say, plus your proficiency.
Okay. So here's how I'm gonna do this. Go.
Oh, natural one.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. So
it's about
as
time.
around the day, you're kind of muddling around and trying to get things fixed. You go to break the arc crystal, and it starts to hum with a magic you're kind of afraid of. It glows and glows and grows as it shakes and shudders, and I'd like you to make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okay. Such as the life of a tinkerer.
Yeah, indeed.
Mhm.
Okay.
Let me see
13.
here. Okay. You manage to dive out of the way. You won't take too much. As you dive sort of away from the table behind your chair, and it pops and cracks as you take 1 point of damage because I rolled a 2. So it goes off, and your egos hurt more than your body
Whew.
as you've unfortunately lost the crystal.
That's psychic
Okay.
damage.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Wyndon's like walking around just trying to clean his ears.
Mm-hmm. You would all hear it, this like bang from upstairs in the tavern.
Sounds like he's having fun.
Trying to decide if you would want me to check on him.
He just kind of walks out, just like, Ma, Ma,
Huh?
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 Mama?
He just looks at you for a second, squints his eyes, and just kind of like scrunches his face and walks out of the tavern. Oh,
Here.
Seems fine to me. I mean, relatively.
All right.
So, what else do people want to do for the day? Is it just Taylor who wants to make any deals? Does anyone want to go do anything in particular?
I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna actually walk down south, towards like the like bigger opening of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And is there kind of like a shore, or is it kind of like a steep like drop like most rivers have?
It's a steep drop. There's a little bit of packed mud that makes kind of like a shore at the fishing place. But nowhere else really.
All right.
So you can choose.
Yeah, actually, I might. All right. I'm gonna go to just the fisher's hut then,
Mhm.
and then I'm just gonna get as close as I can to the water,
Okay.
and I am going to cast. What is it? I didn't put it on the regular sheet, but I put it up here. Just gonna cast Mage Hand and see how far I can like reach in.
Mm-hmm. Does Mage Hand have a particular limit?
Yes, 60 feet, and it can only interact with like objects. It can't attack
Yeah.
anything, and it can't lift anything more than 10 pounds or
Mhm.
use magic items. I'll throw it in the chat.
Okay.
Doop.
So you sent the hand down as it sinks beneath the waves. You get to the 30-foot limit, and you still feel the hand down there. Is there anything
it's 30
particular
feet.
you're trying to get?
I'm just trying to see if I can just feel for any like just anything in terms of like shells, maybe stuff like that,
Mhm.
or creatures, even if there is anything.
As you start feeling around with the hand, it's kind of connected to the nerves of your own. You feel another hand grab it,
Oh,
kind of awkwardly on the back like this, and squeeze. You just feel like an errant tingle in your palms. It doesn't do anything, it's just holding it. You think it's shaking it.
I kind of like try to like do the rough motion of just like shaking with the hand.
Mm-hmm. You feel the sensation lift to the top of your fingers and then vanish as you think the thing that touched you wants to bring the mage hand to the surface.
All right, I'm just gonna let it do its thing, and see if I can like see what it is
Okay.
at all.
So do you raise the hand up as sort of pretending to
Yeah.
raise it? Okay. So eventually, the mage hand would breach the surface. You would see a little green hand attached to it. Its fingers are webbed and clawed. It has green scales going down its forearm, and you see the top sort of eyes and the top of a head of a creature. Large, big bug-like eyes, kind of fishy, big orbs. A big mouth of shark's teeth, hair made of seaweed, its entire skin green. It just looks at you for a second, and you see bubbles come out of its mouth as you think it maybe growls at you, and then it vanishes.
What a prick!
It's like a little stray cat. It's like,
Ah.
I don't like you, but I don't like.
Get out of my river!
I brought your thing back. Now leave me alone.
I have a much more terrible idea. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I am. I'm going to just go into the fishing hut. All right. And
Mm-hmm.
besides the anchor, what is like the heaviest thing I can find in there?
There's like a couple of large crates around. Do you think once used to hold fish? You think those would be pretty heavy?
All right. I'm just gonna try and get to like the close edge of like the fishing hut and just try to like chuck it as far as I can, which
Okay.
is probably like 5 or 10 feet. I don't know.
Okay, you lob it into the water, it sinks. Maybe a minute later, the box would bob back up. You see it has two hands on it now, kind of clawing on top of it like a life raft. It looks you dead in the eyes, and as it pushes the box towards the shore and slaps it with a long green tail.
You're throwing trash into its house. He's so pissed.
As it like does that, I'm going to try and I'm going to try and just I'm going to try and at least communicate or hear what it was trying to communicate, and I'm going to use comprehend languages because I don't know what the fuck it's saying, but I have saved this because I was hoping there was something else. Where is it? I'm gonna just get it up on here.
Okay.
Oh, wait, how do you have it show up in the chat? Like when you search it into into Roll20's thing?
Sorry?
Like when you search a spell in Roll20, how do you actually?
You just have to copy and paste it.
All right. I'll just throw it.
But yeah, I know what comprehend languages mean. I also googled it. So
okay.
Yeah. You would hear it sort of errantly say, "Get out of here!" And it kind of vanishes halfway.
He just doesn't. I'm just being a nuisance. All right. Well,
Okay.
you know,
You think you kind of almost... Palo is afraid of deep water. That is a fear that he has.
yes.
You feel that you've kind of come to a bit more of an understanding about your own fear of the depths. Now that you've seen one of these mysterious sea creatures, you kind of understand that it's just another creature like everything else.
Yeah,
You're still afraid of the depths, but maybe you're not as afraid anymore.
that was my big thing. I did not want to touch anything here because I saw the fucking black, but then I saw that happen, and I was like, I need to know more.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know what that is.
So yeah, your curiosity's been sated, and you feel a little bit less afraid.
Oh, all right. I just kind of like look at the water with like a big eyebrow and just still confused. I don't know what the fuck that thing is, but um,
A
I guess.
shell rockets out of the liquid and hits you in the forehead.
Do I take damage?
Not really. It's like, dunk. Oh, what the fuck? As you grab your head, you see it now, like on the top of the water, staring at you. And then
I just kind of like wave at it and then like slowly like walk away, kind of
Okay.
backing up, like still keeping an eye on it because I don't trust it. But yeah, I'm just backing up, going back to the village.
You see another seashell land on the ground as you quickly make your exit. And I'll say, you all spend the day kind of relaxing, trying to get people moving, getting the grain going, poisoning the ale. Everyone takes a last drink and then you fill it, cut it half. And I'd say the evening starts coming around. You would all notice that the Oracle's cart is opened back up.
While it's opening, I'm like,
Waiting in line. Yeah. I would say you would all be there, as you all maybe probably just sitting and talking on the fountain, having not much else to do. And yeah, it would be about before the moon comes up, maybe in the evening, maybe like 5 o'clock. The shutter would open, and she put her fingers in a sort of steeple position and say, "Coin for a reading. I know you've been waiting, dear."
Flop of gold.
She looks at it very in depth. Very well.
I look back at Kane, like, is this one of those things where if I ask her any question, it's going to count as the question? Like, do I get a clarifying question or do I have to ask the question?
I would be safe.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't encounter that issue.
Who is Wrecker's boss?
She puts her hands onto the wood. Interesting. I've seen a lot of what's going on in this town. Why do you wish to know this?
To try and stop it from happening in other towns.
Very well. I do not wish to twist your leg either way. It's a man, mortal as the rest of us. His name is Hashim. Pull out the book.
Gonna find another coin.
He raises an eyebrow.
I don't really know how this works. I assume every time I ask a question, I have to give you something.
Going for an answer.
Oh, yeah. It's written on the side of your card, so I assumed. Where is Hashim? Like with an N at the end or an M?
M.
M. Hashim.
Well, she focuses quite in depth this time. Her body starts to shake more than what you saw before. She concentrates for what seems like an age, then blinks her eyes. Not even I can see where he is. Regardless of what you might think of my powers, he is hidden beyond the eyes of the snakes. Maybe not beyond the eyes of mortals, but beyond mine. Who knows, really? Coin for a reading, anyone? I do fortunes, answers, future readings.
Could you foretell if we were to track down this Hashim, how well we could maybe stand up against him?
I think that this man is not your problem. It's the people he surrounds himself with.
Well, guys, I don't know what the fuck to do.
Stay your current course.
I'm at a crossroads right now, and I don't know which way to go.
And I can't make that decision for you.
Yeah, unfortunately.
He looks past you all and exclaims, coin for a reading. And you would see a couple of people come over now as this sort of harrowing chapter in their lives is, for them, coming to a close. And you're quickly pushed away as they start getting their readings.
Do you think, and honestly, this group, this Wrecker, his minions, this Hashim, this whoever he surrounds himself by, is something that we can handle on our own without intervention? Because if we don't, it means a lot of death. Or if it's something you even care about. Each of you individually.
I think.
care. Yeah.
Yeah.
I care. But I think we've helped save this town. I think we could do it after. I don't know. I think this. Can't get the cult off my mind. I think the cult needs to come first, and then I'm more than happy to throw everything I have at Hashim. or whoever surrounds Hashim.
I just can't help but feel like we have a timeline for some sort of, not divine intervention, but whatever we call the hound to make quick work of this, hopefully.
You got to remember, the hound wants you to make a deal.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever do want to make a deal, you can call the hound back.
It's true.
But you don't have to feel rushed because that's all they want, really.
You gotta know. You gotta know. I think what was required to call the hound back as well.
Didn't look fun.
I mean, we can always ask what we need for another hound calling, but
You would know, actually. It would be in his journal.
oh,
yeah,
true.
that's right. Oh, hey guys,
We
by
have the
the way,
journal. Yeah.
here it is.
We have this big book of lore.
Hold on. I know
We
this
could
one.
also ask him if there's any other ways.
I think we'll be fine. I personally don't even think we need the hound. Not yet. Because, we have a good amount of time seeing as how these troops handle themselves on the other end. It's going to take them a bit to get organized and get set up once they decide on a target. We'll probably, if anything, be able to keep up with them. But the first thing is we do have to deal with the snakes before anything. Because
Yes.
we can't track them if we're dead.
I guess if you think, if one, everyone cares enough and you think we can do it, I'll hold off. It's just, this town suffered a lot. And they're going to just keep doing it. And keep doing it. And keep doing it. Because that's what this fucking god asks for. Granted, they have interpreted it a bit more drastically. But
Yeah. I still think we can catch up given our track record.
they're rather big and noisy and messy. I doubt it'll be hard to see exactly where they're going if they're walking together.
Yeah. Also, if you think about it, like, probably going to be much easier if we can find anything from the snakes themselves that we can use. Because, I mean, just look at the sword. That's great for tracking them alone. So, I think, let's just do what we have to do. Get everyone settled to, unfortunately, leave. And we'll finish our business here in the morning. I think that's a good plan. At least. Then, once we're done here, we can start hunting.
We also may want to think about, some of this stuff is poisoned, so maybe think of something to respond with if they ask us.
We'll just say it's their fault.
The villagers?
No,
It's
them.
slow acting. They'll be far enough away, and hopefully the town will be far enough away. And really, can they blame them? The whole water supply is a little tainted, of course. Not
Yeah.
everything's going to
Yeah.
be tip-top shape.
They'll use
Or
it.
at least that can be an argument.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we're set for tomorrow.
Now here's the question. What are you going to do with the hound?
I mean, for now, we can't really strike a deal since we don't know what we can do. So,
Yeah, I think I would still just like walk over to the house though.
Mhm.
And see if they're still there.
Okay. Yeah, at this point, the rain would have really set in. Thankfully, all the food has been secured within a safe location, but the door is left wide open for the hovel. You would see this dim orange light emanating from the room. You hear the sound of scrounging and scavenging. You think that the hound is hard at work doing something.
I'll just kind of stand outside the door and just
The hound turns around. Well, good evening. Sorry about the mess. You would look in and see the place is in a pretty bad state. Unfortunately, he fell a bit early. I was hoping to take some books with me back. But, such is the way of things, I have to look for them myself. Like always. I wish I could bring my servants with me, but it's always a bother.
I wouldn't, no.
You could know.
Could indeed.
Well,
Quick question for you, and I don't know if you can even answer it. This snake god that everyone's up in arms about, and I don't know, past, present, future, whatever all that is, what's something that can block a view of something so omniscient?
well, omniscience and magic go hand in hand. What is omniscience but an incredibly powerful and frequent spell of scrying? If you can see everything, there has to be an explanation to it, at least in my opinion. That's how I see a lot of what I do, and that's how I hide a lot of what I do. Down where I am, you can't see into my castle walls.
So it could be just some sort of magic that stops any sort of scrying, or
Indeed.
it could be another of you,
Maybe.
or their intervention.
Always. We're very competitive. But yes, it could very well be. Whoever is casting it has to be quite a potent spellcaster, though. To keep it up so consistently. To use it on such a scale.
Interesting.
I have people who do that for me. A lot of people who do that for me.
I'm very connected.
Well, of course, I've been alive for thousands of years. I remember this land when it was just a group of tribes fighting each other. Not much has changed, to be honest.
Let's see. I don't think I know quite what deal I'm willing to make yet. I have Brannigan's journal. Is this how I get in touch with you directly, or is it going to send me to one of your competitors?
Oh no, that specific one is for me. Let's just say that he did not find it by accident.
One of your connections?
Well, you know that forbidden knowledge is just a tool that we wield. It's not entirely coincidental that books appear in libraries that they shouldn't be.
I think I'm supposed to, but I kind of like you.
Oh dear. Puts a hand to the chest. Well, I would like you too, but you're definitely whimsical. It's just a shame that you're not willing to do what must be done.
I don't know what needs to be done yet. That's my problem.
Well,
I don't
that
want
is
to make
always-
a quick snap judgment and then it not be exactly what I needed to do, you know?
Creatures like you are the bane of people like me.
Hey, I've got your number.
Well, call me whenever you wish.
Is there any way that we could maybe real quick make this blood circle not exist and make it look like a goblin did this or something?
When the magic is spent, you can scuff it however you wish.
Okay. I think Brannigan was kind of an asshole. No one really paid much attention to him anyway, but, you know, save a little bit of face for him.
Well, fire is a great way to remove obstacles and evidence.
I start looking through the books with her. See if there's anything to keep, and then I'm like, maybe so.
She produces a lantern and place it on the table.
Yeah,
All
like,
yours.
prepared.
A reminder, try not to break it. Well,
I'm so clumsy sometimes, though.
well, I must be off. Wish your friends a good evening, a good life. Maybe I'll see them one day, who knows? They step back.
I don't mean this in a rude way, but I hope they don't.
Well, yes, that is always the hope, but you never know. They step onto the circle, perform an incantation with their hands, and a portal opens up behind them. I bid you adieu. And they just step backwards and vanish. As you're left in a quiet house. What do you do?
I can't think of any, like, I guess if there's anything, I mean, I don't think she's looking for anything in particular, but anything that, like, seems real out of place or different when it comes to books. Like I said, I don't think she super has a need for anything. Maybe anything that could allude to more of the red wolf bear thing or werewolf shit in general, but other than that, just kind of a general.
You would find a singular book on lycanthropy. It isn't very extensive, but you'd pocket it. Is there anything else you want to do before we close out?
It's been raining outside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just shatter that lantern right in the middle of that magic circle and walk out the door.
Okay. You grab the lantern and slam it into the ground. It explodes in a spark as the fire quickly spreads along the oil and then along the wood. Flames start kicking up, eating the kindling that surrounds it. Fire grows and grows and grows as you walk away. You see the flames in the windows, and a couple of people guarding the front door are watching with confusion. You tell them it's okay and no one's in there as you would return to the tavern. Flames behind you. And that's where we're going to end the session for tonight. There you go.
Oh my goodness. What's happening?
Yeah,
Oh.
Kane's definitely laying down for bed and about to have a talk with himself or with something.
All right. Whoa.
Awesome.
Thank you all for playing again.
Yes, thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you for the session.
Yeah.
No
thank
problem.
you.
We have a quick break next Saturday, but then we'll be back the next Saturday for this. Thursday is Tomb of Annihilation. Not this coming Sunday, but other Sundays are Game Watch. Other Thursdays we'll play games. That's all the things. Aegon, couple every other Tuesday for a couple more weeks. And then go to High Shelf Gaming, where we play other things with them. Lots of stuff. Good fun times. Yeah, I guess that's it. That's all the
That's
things.
it.
Yeah.
I think if you don't fight Rekka next session, you don't decide to ambush him, which I don't think you will. Last session of Heartshome. Not next week, the week after, because you're all away.
Yeah.
So what is that?
The
17th.
yes.
Okay.
So yeah, you've all blazed through it. I mean, holy shit, you're doing a great job. I'm
Because we've
amazed
been
you didn't
in
fight
it.
Rekka.
It's been like 4 hours of like, what's happening?
Yeah. I'm glad you're all staying engaged. It's super fun
Yes.
playing with you all. Thank you very much.
Yes. I love it. Well, everyone, have a happy 4th if you're an American.
And if you're not, also have a happy 4th.
Yeah, also have happy 4th, but not for holiday reasons.
Yeah, just have a good day that
Have a
day.
good day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
What,
Bye.
wait, when the hell's fireworks day in the UK?
I think it's in October.
Yeah, when that happens, have a good day then. There.
Yeah.
If you're in
Double
English,
good
cool.
day.
I will also have
We're
a
just
good
giving
day
you, we're giving you a
Alright.
heads up.
It's
Yeah.
November.
Bye, everyone.
All right.